Welcome to the ICL Round 1, Week 2, Division C.
So many
We've
letters
got
and numbers.
Yes, announcer number 2. That is some numbers and things. And tonight we have the wonderful Lorcana Lazyboys. I've heard they've had a pretty good record in a few ICLs, and they're playing off against newcomers, Cleveland Lorcana. And tonight we are joined by the Destroyer of Worlds, Color is Law, as well as the peaceful pacifist, Gabriel.
Yeah, I mean, that worked out. I do enjoy it. The Destroyer of Worlds was a bit, and it's really sticking to it. I think it works. And Gabe, the peaceful pacifist.
Yeah. I'm Pocahontas now, and I'm okay with that because she's got a pretty cool ability, and I'm down for being a peacekeeper. We love to see it.
Guiding the tribe, guiding the peace. It's good. It's all good.
Yeah, which I'm sure we'll see a bunch of that tonight at some point, but we'll let that happen when we get there. First of all, hey everybody, it's my first time back on the ICL since the season. I gotta say hi, miss everybody, love everybody. What are you doing? How's it going? Welcome. Thank you for welcoming us into your homes. I guess if you're watching this in your house, unless you're not, but here we are.
What you thinking about? Gabe just in the bathtub. Like, what you thinking about? How's the Lorcana crew been?
I missed you guys. What's going on?
He misses those late night deck list discussions and
oh my goodness. I've been making so many decks. It's been crazy. This format's been nuts, dude. It's been so crazy. Just building everything. I've actually I'm gonna get a chance to play tomorrow. I'm excited to play with some friends, and I still don't know what I'm gonna bring. I don't, I have my Amber Emerald deck that I've basically just modified by 3 cards since the last set. And then I've got
crazy.
I know. Well, if it keeps winning, what am I supposed to do? Not play it? It keeps winning. It keeps doing so well.
There has to be more than 3 cards out of that deck for it to literally be legal. You know what I mean? Like, yes, it's Amber and Emerald, but like, you got a lot of different flavors of Amber and Emerald right now. There's quite a few dogs that rotated out. So if you're playing Gabe tomorrow, check his deck. It might be legal. Like,
it could be. It could entirely be. Yeah, we're pre-rotation, baby. Let's go. Yep. Let's do it. Oh my gosh.
Are you really playing if you're not still playing with tramps? I don't know.
I'm going to tell you something very controversial. Towards the end of last format, I was legitimately thinking about just ripping those things out. Like, I barely played them. I was inking them. Eleanor did everything I needed it to do. I didn't need to worry about tramps.
You didn't have a very good record, I bet, if you're just constant.
Excuse me. How dare you, first of all. I made day 2, okay? Wow. I ranked 137th at Indianapolis. I was okay. All right? First of all.
Okay, yeah.
Better than I did.
We're
talking about core here, folks.
That was season 1. You might have gotten. No, you didn't.
No,
you wouldn't have. But you were closer than I ever was. I got a non-foil. Let it go, and I was like, finally, I did it.
We did it, folks.
We did it. They're like, that's non-foil. You didn't. Shush. Yeah. I've been waiting for this.
Let them rain on
for
your
months.
parade.
Yeah, I know, right? I've done it. Did you get a non-foil? Let it go? No, because they were all gone at the prize wall. I won mine. Ha ha.
Yeah. I got the premium package, and I got one there. So there you go.
I didn't get a non-foil. Let it go. Actually, that's the one DLC I did well at this season. I didn't go to the prize wall early enough to get my stuff. So by the time I showed up, like, I got 3 Elsa pins. It was Elsa pins and Pegasi. That was it. Just Pegasus's eye.
I like Pegasi better. Yeah, that's way better.
It also proves that you watch My Little Pony and then you know the plural for ponies, but it's okay.
Pony eye? Pegasi is not the plural of ponies.
It is.
They grow wings when they're in groups.
Well, pony, that's a whole.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it's gonna get dark. Anyway, we got loungers. Okay, I think that I don't know what goes on in Cleveland. Bobby's in Cleveland, right? I just doxed Bobby, so shout out. What? So I'm gonna say the Loungers already won. They're gonna keep winning. That's all I got. I'm gonna be more decisive now as I make enemies with my predictions.
I gotta say, I'm very proud of the growth, Color, because like I feel like this. You don't normally do the prediction things, and you. I'm so proud of you right now. I'm so very proud of you. And so you know what? I'm the kind of person that believes that lightning does not strike the same place twice. So if I had to guess, Lazyboys, while I had the pleasure, the absolute pleasure of casting
kicked out of the lounge
that final match. I didn't say they're going to lose the whole thing. I'm just talking about tonight, okay? I'm talking about tonight only because I do believe in first timers luck. Okay, in Cleveland Lorcana, it's their first time here. They have something to show. They got something to prove. Cleveland Lorcana tonight is going to prove it by showing the Lazyboys that they are no slouch. I'm going to be rooting for the Cleveland Lorcana team. Lazyboys, I still love you. Please don't kick me out of the lounge. I still love you guys, but I got to give it to first time luck, baby. We got to give it to him.
Hey, he needs it. He's like, hey, please don't kick it out here. But Cleveland's probably cool. It's probably neat, right? So I don't know, but that's pretty good. What about you, Luke? What do you got going on?
Well, I just have one thing to say, and you're going to have to wait for me to say it. I'm going to pop in the beginning of the match and say it once I get it prepped up, but we're going to jump so we don't miss any action.
Oh,
we're jumping in immediately, and here we go. This is round 1 of an ICL on any given Tuesday. This is Lorcana Loungers Jed against Cleveland Lorcana Doug, and I really do have to say I like Doug's nails, and I like their mat. So it's the Mirabelle Champion mat. So, oh well.
Yeah, and Jed famously is with 2 Ds, as is listed up there. So we're getting them switched around now. We're getting everything fixed. I do believe we'll make sure that everyone's on the right side here. But both of these players are getting ready. They're going to be starting this off with their team. And as we see here, of course, the infamous die roll to determine who goes first. That is only true in the first round because the winner of this round will determine who goes first in the next round because it'll be the team who lost the first game. Right. That's how that works.
All right, chat.
We're
probably going to get a takedown notice.
The cameras are
prediction.
Flipped. The cameras are flipped. I think Jed is on the
rocks.
Right. Oh, no.
No, don't do it.
yeah, he went there. So if folks, if you can't see us in about 3 minutes, it's because we were taken down, but that's okay. We're going to keep going. Color and I will continue to bring you the action live until we can no longer do it. Okay. We're going to do it for as long as we can.
Pooskie's already booing you, but all right. So we do have the cameras that need to be flipped. I am now finding out that Jed is the one with the nice nails and Doug needs to step it up. But we are going to take a little bit of an alter here from Jed, only sending back 3 cards. I can't count, but you know what? That is a decent alter here going on the play, I would assume, because when we alter in Disney Lorcana, you get to alter first when you're on the play. And it is a good thing to like take a look and see what your opponent is doing. I want to know if you're altering 0 cards, you're insane, or I'm in actually a really bad spot. You know, it's either one of the two. Either you're just like really overconfident or we're golden. But, you know,
it's either one extreme or the other. Let's do it.
There is no middle ground.
We are nowhere in the middle. No. And of course, as you're seeing here, this is the infamous ICL cut where you place your deck into 3 piles. You put a dice on top of the 3 stacks, and then your opponent gets to choose. And then usually like 85 to 90% of the time, what happens is your opponent goes, same. Whatever you said for me, do the same for you. That's like 90% of the time. That's me. That's what I do. So if you wanted to cheat, that's the easiest way to do it.
I did ask Franz about that, and they answered in the most surprising way I've ever seen. They were like, I find a clock near me, and then I look at the clock, and then I take where the hand is, and I was like, oh, I disassociated, and I got it because it was like, oh, there's no way that you could ever truly be random because you're going to be influenced by things, which I thought was very interesting, and I liked the concept behind it. But Franz, you do it too much still. But they did win last season, and Franz is on the Lazyboys, so there might be something to it.
I was gonna say you just cannot listen, if he won, it's got to be the right way to do it. So from now on, henceforth, I will look at a clock and make some kind of ritualistic determination as to why I choose the deck orders and the cut. I think if that works for Franz, it must be scientific. There's just no way about it.
Awesome. And it does look like Jed is on the play, inking a mysterious card that we will probably see at some point, and then passing the turn immediately over to Doug. Now, we don't know what colors they are because, again, these are super secret inkwell cards off the screen. So we're going to see what Doug does here coming up on his turn.
Yeah, and we'll get that fixed for you in just a moment, folks. Don't worry, you'll be able to see that. But generally speaking, it's not depending on the deck, it's not the worst thing in the world if you ink and pass. Some decks are okay with that. As we see Darkwing Duck with an Angela going into the Inkwell here. This Darkwing Duck, of course, pretty standard, pretty vanilla. The Darkwing Duck usually tells us that we might be seeing a particular color pairing here, but let's not make any assumptions, shall we?
No, we have seen an Emerald Steel variant of this coming up recently. So there's the Emerald Steel variant that could be in there, but then the tried and true Sapphire Steel Detectives. So it really depends on what flavor of ducks that we're going to be throwing around today. And depending on that is an Emerald card. And is it?
Oh, that is Todd and Copper. That is the Todd and Copper shift card. That is the beautiful enchanted Todd and Copper. You love to see it. With an Ursula, let's see. We're gonna get our full answer here. Color. We are looking. It is Sapphire and Steel. And oh boy, we see the terror that flaps in the night. That is an action though. That is not a song. As we have to decide nothing because these friends. I really hope so. Jed, of course, now taking a look and thinking about what will happen as we move into this next part of the game here.
I like how you call him Mallard Drake as if he was like being called into a doctor's office. His name is Drake Mallard. So he's like, Mallard Drake?
Mallard Drake,
are you here? That is the Drake Mallard, which is, yeah. I don't know why that tickled me so much, but I think Jed really is hoping to establish a 3-drop here. I mean, being able to stay on tempo, missing that 1-drop. We did see the shift Todd and Copper go in there, so there are some shift lanes available to us in this deck. We have not seen the other color yet, I believe. So maybe we'll get a little bit of a look here, but it looks like Doug is right on strategy to continue to take his turn. Okay, so did we just pass back? I'm so sorry.
No, it's crazy. Yeah, it was hard to behold, but yeah, Jed was put in the unfortunate position of needing to ink and then pass. So very low tempo hand here. This is not where Jed wants to be. Jed is definitely going to be on the back foot, and yeah, Doug taking advantage here with the terror that flaps in the night, leaving Jed completely empty on board here.
I was about to start talking about those Judy Hopps as she does make her way into the Inkwell, but yeah, we got to use that Terror that Flaps in the Night, just like you said, because I got to do the 3 damage, and Ursula was the only thing on the board, so we went ahead and took it just to kind of keep Jed away from their own singers or, will or hope to potentially stay in this game as there we go. We're going to ink a
character on the board. Jed now debating and needing to get a little bit lucky here, needing to see some things. Although Jed does have a few more cards in hand. Turns out when you don't play something on turn 1 and you don't play something on turn 3, you get a couple more options for the future. So hopefully that something in the future can keep Jed in this. Doug, of course, as we mentioned, not doing too terribly with his hand as well. Both players, again, still very much in this. Jed playing the White Rabbit.
All right. Hopefully we can get a couple things down here and the White Rabbit into a Pegasus, which are some decent evasive threats here. And we will go ahead seeing a Thunderbolt. He hurled it right onto that Judy Hopps, which is she was able to get another Judy Hopps off of the top of the deck there, but not able to sit onto the board and be a very potentially potent shift base. I tried to think.
That's a great question, but yes, we do. We shift and we see it is the Darkwing Duck and the Launchpad coming in, and that thing is hefty. Color, that thing is so beefy, just coming in and dealing with that Angel here, taking a little bit of damage back, sending it back over to Jed.
Yeah, and we do get 2 lore off of that Spanish and challenge there. Now, we did have 1 card in hand for Jed, so it didn't give that Angel resist, but I don't think it matters because Darkwing Duck is challenging in at a whopping, I have no idea, but it would have not went over the resist. It's a 5/7. And we are seeing this Huntsman here. Now, this Huntsman has Ward. It is a 4/3. Some people are playing this in this Emerald Steel strategy, and other people are not, giving this the balance between the evasive and the ward. Do I want the warded character on 3, or would I rather have the Vixie, which we did see inked earlier? So this Huntsman has been a great little tech choice here.
It is, yeah, and we do see Judy Hopps coming down here. This is the underdog Judy Hopps, of course, and so both players just trying to continue to present some kind of a board threat. That Huntsman, fantastic card here, and very important to the strategy. The goal, generally speaking, with the Emerald Steel strategy, so you want to play things that'll survive, and you know what survives is if you can't point and click if you can't choose things, which is pretty sweet. We do see that Darkwing Duck and Launchpad getting active, getting in there, and taking Doug all the way to 7 points of lore.
7 is a huge lead here, but I think Sapphire Steel, especially with the start that Jed had, is going to have a little bit of an advantage here. But we here's another Angel, a little bit more to do some flinging of that damage, but that is going to be able to challenge heavily with that warded 4/3, taking that Darkwing Duck off of the board. Normally that card is very difficult for Steel to get rid of, so that Huntsman here being at that 4/3 stat line compared to the 1/3 Vixie was exactly what Jed needed to make sure that this board didn't get completely out of hand for them.
Yeah, I mean, lots of value clearly gained by that Darkwing Duck and Launchpad here. You know, had a chance to banish the character, had a chance to then, of course, quest. And so getting rid of that thing, so important here as Jed is trying to figure out how to piece together a victory. Doug thinking through the options here. We see him looking at the hand. Again, thanks. If not that it's a requirement, but getting a face cam does help a lot because I do love being able to see the players thinking through this. As Judy Hopps finds her way here, this Angel very, very strong now. This Angel is extra valuable, can do so much, and Doug is going to have to figure out and knows, hey, I can't let you keep free questing. We're going to deal with your Pegasus with that Judy Hopps, and I'm going to go ahead and send it back over to Jed.
Hey, we found another Judy Hopps, so don't worry. Your detectives have alert and resist, so we were able to get that out of here. If you didn't like this Judy Hopps, what about this Judy Hopps? Now, that resist does only happen on your turn, so that angel ability will be able to fling damage, but that's a 1/3, I believe, with the Judy Hopps, and I think she has resist too. I don't know. That little guy is crazy. She's a 2/2 though.
Yeah,
she's like a 2/3 at that point because of the resist. Like, oh, pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think there's a reason why we're seeing this Judy Hopps showing up in these builds. You know, it's trying to capitalize on these resist. You love to see it. Resist, such a powerful effect right now in Disney Lorcana. It's really, really proving to be so important. So much damage being kind of distributed everywhere in this format. The Emerald Steel strategy showcasing it pretty well as Jed now shows a touch the sky, but no Paradise Falls to follow along with it. So using it as a snowball
to put the 2 damage onto the Judy Hopps. She is a willpower of 4, so that we can challenge in with our own special set of resist to take out your Judy Hopps. Now, the Eleanor, notably, is not doing any damage because we do not have 3 exerted characters. Jed showing a little bit of patience here by not exerting in the face of all of this stuff and shenanigans going on. But Doug has more Judy Hopps. Just oops, all Judy.
Oops, all Judy, you're not kidding. And that thing is crazy. You're talking about for resist on any detectives that are going to be coming down now. That is pretty solid. So Doug in a okay spot. Jed not able, to your point, Color, not able to activate this Eleanor, has not been able to activate its effect at all. I mean, anytime you can activate that effect, you're effectively increasing your win rate. But Judy Hopps on the side of Jed finding its way, saying, no, you're not the only one with Judy Hopps. So do I. I got some too.
What is it? It's a bunch of rabbits called like a fluffle or something adorable. But listen, an elephant walks into the room with 3 rabbits, and she's a 6'5", I think, with bodyguard. Francine being one of the, she's a 4/3. That's the other one, which is crazy. But listen, this also has resist. So paired with the Judys, that's double resist. That's 2. That's 2.
Yeah, so much resist out there. That Francine on Doug's turn with 2 Judy Hopps represents 5 resist, but it doesn't matter because you don't get resist if there's no turns to be had, because it looks like we're going to go ahead and pass this up and go ahead and skip right into a game 2. Color, what do you think about this game so far? What do you think? How do you think it's going so far?
It's so I was wondering at the very beginning of this, I was like, is Sapphire still favored? And I think it is slightly favored because it is able to curve out. It does have that steel ability, and the top end is a lot better. And because of the Judy, if you can find it, which Doug found all 18 of the alert giving resist +2, you have a way to deal with the evasive part of the Emerald Steel strategy, which is what makes it so strong right now. And especially when Jed doesn't do anything for the first few turns, unfortunately. So it's Sapphire Steel is favored, but I think if Jed can get a better start, especially being on the play, they'll be able to we'll see a game. you know?
Yeah, certainly. And we as we kind of talked about at the very beginning there, Jed not able to set up a turn 1, not able to set up a turn 3 with this build with his deck. Emerald Steel, generally it doesn't really have that many 1-drops, so I don't think the 1-drops is missing a 1-drop is the worst thing. It's not what you want, but you're kind of okay with it. You're a little bit more lower to the ground, and you can kind of get away with it, but you can't miss a 1-drop, then miss a 3-drop, and then basically not have the sequence of cards that you need going into it. That part can't happen if you want any shot at winning this thing. So Jed, being able to go first here, hopefully can gain some advantage and take this thing and give us color the game 3 that we all love and want.
That we deserve is more like it. Yeah, but no, I mean, definitely need that 1 cost. Again, you can do the 1 cost into a Vixie, which that is an early singer there for Emerald Steel. And because who knew, as a steel deck, going 1, 2, 3, 4 strength is good, and going 1, 2, 3 strength is even better. But if you don't get those lines, you don't get those lines. But Doug does have a lot of shift bases in their deck that are wonderful targets, notably that Darkwing, the Drake Mallard. Having Ward does kind of guarantee the Darkwing Duck Launchpad shift. But, we did see Jed using a fair amount of removal for each one of the Judy Hops. It was just, oops, all Judy there for a bit. So I'm interested to see, kind of going into this game number 2, if we can get a little bit of our stronger strategy online.
Yeah, both players with a pretty, I'd say, moderate alter, it appears. Not too many cards on either side being altered. I believe Jed did about 4, if my thick card math is right. As I'm looking at the stack of cards there, Doug appeared to have done 2 cards for the alter. So both players saying that they got a pretty moderate hand, that they likely have things that they can do. And so they can hopefully figure this out, and we'll get a real game here, as we always love a good, nice, real game. No Ultra 7s is always a good sign.
There you go. And it is looking like Jed's deck, it might be double sleeved, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. And you're like, do you have 7 cards? Do you have 30 cards? Where are we at with that?
Yeah.
Shout out to the double sleeved crazies. You know what I mean? Like, I love it, but also every time I pick it up, I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah. It takes twice as long to sleeve, but I noticed it takes 5 times as long to de-sleeve a double sleeve deck. And so the first 3 times I started playing Disney Lorcana, I'm like, yeah, let me protect these cards. And then after the 3rd time, I'm like, nah, we're just doing low rarity, and I'm just doing single sleeves.
Yeah,
that's what we're doing here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't play with foils because I'm poor, but also because I just don't play with foils because I'm poor. So I don't care. I'm not going to double sleeve. But we did just go ahead and ink a max goof and pass, missing that 1-drop again. And maybe if Doug doesn't get their 1-drop, it looks like he has. Okay, so we're immediately starting out just like last time. This is basically a repeat of what Doug has. 1 Darkwing Duck on the board. Jed hopefully plays something a little bit more impactful than the Ursula 2, because again, Doug last time didn't keep the Strength of Raging Fire. He actually kept the Tweet Quacks in the Night. Come on now. There's so many. What are these called?
The terror that flaps in the night.
Terror that quacks in the night is crazy. But we did have 1 piece of removal here in this thing, as look what you made me do there, getting rid of that shift base.
Yeah, I mean, turn 1 was ink, no character for Jed. Turn 2 was ink, play a card, not establishing a board. Doug is just saying, okay, no worries, we got more characters, and this time, good luck, because our dear friend Drake Mallard, Drake, finding its way here, hanging out with us, and can't be targeted because of that ward ability.
Yeah, and that does make that a little bit worse for you, but it does, like I said, make sure, hey, we have our shift base online. So we're going ward for ward here, looking at this Huntsman.
Yeah, and what's really, so the goal here with this deck, this Touch Paradise deck, it wants to ultimately play a Paradise Falls on forward. It wants to be able to draw a lot of cards. What better way to do that than if you've got warded characters that you can't be targeting? So Doug now trying to figure out where we're going to go with this. It is now Doug's turn, deciding what we're going to be inking, deciding what we're going to be playing. Pivotal moments in this game, the early moments in this game, so important for Disney Lorcana, as we're going to go ahead and ink that Judy Hops in order to play.
That's got to be Judy Hops.
Yeah, still thinking about it though.
It's another Darkwing Duck.
It's Darkwing. So many Darkwings.
Darkwing Duck. Dun, 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 dun. this one. I forgot what it does. Oh, when you play this character, you deal with
Yes.
damage to chosen character. Well, it's got word. We're not dealing any damage here. Now, that's probably why Doug took a little bit of time to be like, what do I want to do this turn? Because listen, we've got warded characters. We're not flinging damage, but that is the Huntsman. It could be a potential singer, but you'd have to have 5 characters to get rid of this ping damage Darkwing Duck with its 2/5 stat lines, which is wild for a 3-drop.
It is. It's so. I mean, just the stat line is so good. It has a good ability. There is the Paradise Falls, by the way. It is found its way onto the table. We are singing "Touch the Sky," and that is going to go ahead and send that card into the Paradise Falls, which means, Color, we're drawing 4 cards. This is insane. This combo.
It is actually insane. Yeah, being able to move that over and then all of a sudden that location's like, hey, I have 4 lore, and Touch the Sky says, hey, go ahead and draw 4 cards. So that is a decent threat there. We do only have 6 willpower or 6 strength down on the board. Unless Doug is able to shift one of these Darkwing Ducks, you will not be able to take out that Paradise Falls very cleanly here, but you can get rid of the Huntsman. Now, that is another reason why people, I think, were playing other characters in this situation, because if that was an evasive character, there's nothing really that Doug could have done. So that was the Huntsman versus evasive character kind of balance that some people are really debating on what's the right answer.
Yeah, it's such a good point, Color. You know, it's like you either guarantee that you're going to sing that song, or you try to get that character to survive, just not being challenged where possible. And speaking of surviving challenges, Paradise Falls, 7 willpower. This is beefy. This place, the rocks must be extra dense here, extra thick, as we've got Darkwing Duck coming in, barely making a dent on this location here.
That's a thick location. What a wild thing to say. But again, I mean, with this Judy Hopps, again, we were able to get a little bit of card advantage there on our turn, so refilling our hand to kind of get towards the game plan. And again, like I mentioned before, the top end of the Sapphire Steel deck is just a bit beefier than the Emerald and Steel strategy, but we did just draw 4 cards. We drew 4 cards. Doug is not really drawing cards. He's just replacing cards. So we really have to see if Jed can maybe go wide here and potentially, he could even play a character and then play another Touch the Sky just to get 4 more cards out of this situation. So there's a lot of things that we can do here. We just have to make sure that we can overwhelm Doug's game plan and not let these detectives really duck everything up for us.
I really love how you said that. Yes, fantastic pun. As we see that Doug now, of course, just kind of look. You can again love the fact that we can see Doug's face here as we see the Todd and Copper team finding their way here. This card does have evasive. It is a strong character here, 3/3, so we'll be able to survive. Assuming that we don't have any songs or anything that will deal with it. Doug now knowing that Jed is kind of slow to start doesn't mean that Jed is in the water not being able to do anything, because as we've been talking about, 4 cards that we've drawn is a lot of cards. If we can keep drawing, if we saw another Touch the Sky, and if we cannot deal with this Paradise Falls, or if we choose not to deal with this Paradise Falls, Doug could be put into a world of hurt here. But we're going to see what Doug does here in response as we play another Judy Hopps.
Yeah, well, the Judy Hopps that we actually grabbed off of the quest from our other Judy Hopps, it's going to let us look at the top few cards of our deck and pull out whatever detective that we need. And this deck is full of them, as we see the Terror, the Flaps in the Night doing that 3 damage immediately to that Todd and Copper, getting it up on out of here. It was the evasive that we were looking for, but having to pay the full retail value of that Todd and Copper really set us back. The shift 2 would have been way better, but again, there's a lot of steel removal flying from Doug's side, so keeping anything on the board is going to be very difficult after this point.
Yeah, it certainly is. Jed is getting far behind here. Doug 3 characters down. Jed with no glimmers to show for it, with a Paradise Falls, beautiful location. As we see Angel could do some work here. The resist does make it a little bit difficult, but we're going to see if Jed can use this Angel to great effect.
And we will see. I mean, again, that's a 2/5, and we have some pretty beefy characters on here, but we'll go ahead. The other Angel is going to be able to help us out. That's not another Angel. That's a Judy Hopps. That's a Judy. Everybody's got a Judy. You've got a Judy. Jed's got one. Doug's got two. So let's see here if Doug can continue on. He's got some great momentum coming on in this game, and I'm just really nervous for Jed, but I feel like we can get there.
Yeah, I do too. It's look at the lore count. We've only got 2 lore on either side. The game is moving a little bit slower than Doug probably hopes. Doug is has the board established, but Jed catching up little by little. No one's too far ahead, Color. No one's too far ahead. Still has a shot to be able to do things with the massive amount of cards that was drawn just a couple of turns ago. But if we don't light this up, speaking of light this up, Darkwing Duck and Launchpad, that team is back, and it is badder than ever. 5-7, so strong as Judy Hopps finishes the Paradise Falls.
Interesting now. So we did go ahead and finish the Paradise Falls with the Judy Hopps and opting to quest with the Darkwing Duck and Launchpad, going for the 2 lore, getting up to 4 instead of questing with the Judy Hopps to get more card advantage, because that would have given us another card in hand. So interesting that we went for the lore as opposed to the card advantage. Probably feeling pretty safe here, pretty strong on board with this 5-7 Darkwing Duck, saying, I don't need the card, I need the lore.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a sign that Doug's hand is solid. It might be a sign that he's worried about some lore, but everybody makes their choices. That is ultimately the story here of Disney Lorcana. When you're playing one of these games, it is about making sure that you get to where you need to be. As speaking of getting where you need to be, there's no better way to do that than with an Eleanor, with a renowned diplomat protecting you along the way. Now, can Jed actually activate this thing, unlike game 1 where it kind of sat there and really had no support in doing that? We'll find out.
I don't know if Jed has 1-drops in their deck at this point, because a 1-drop would be a lovely place to follow up to kind of give us the ability to quest out and not have to give up our Eleanor next turn. So even still, if we want to start using this Eleanor ability, we are going to have to make her vulnerable coming up next turn. And she does have 4 willpower, which is enough to, thunderbolt you into the next planet. But we are going to a little bit of the card resources now with the Judy Hopps. So, I mean, there's so many things that you can look. This deck is great because of the density of detectives. So Judy Hopps just sitting there questing over and over again. We even saw them take a turn off from the quest because we just didn't need the resources. That's how great we're doing right now if we're Doug.
Oh yeah, and speaking of, I mean, we're seeing more of these detectives finding their way down here. So like the character presence, Doug is match. Jed is trying to match 1-for-1. Doug is now got 4 characters down. Jed is going to want to try to activate that Eleanor, but it's going to be so tough when you've got Darkwing Duck and Launchpad just going in questing. Doug saying, "Hey, I dare you. I dare you to do something about this thing. This Darkwing Duck and Launchpad tag team, just hanging out." And yeah, it's looking kind of scary. Or if you look at the number of characters, it's one thing, but if you look at how strong these characters are in comparison to Jed is going to be in danger of opening himself up to that Eleanor not being here for very long. So Jed has to make a decision when it's their turn to figure out how do we move forward.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, anything that's 7 willpower is going to be a lot for a steel, like a lower to the ground steel deck to deal with. But we saw that the genie investigative mind came down, and I'm like, excuse me, what? I forgot this was a detective. It is a 5-cost 4/7. It's another beefy willpower body with 2 lore, so it's going to be another problem that you have to deal with. And we now see all of these threats represented. We also see this Nick Wilde, whose potential shift target can come in and just start drawing us cards. So we talked about last turn how Jed is going to have to be able to turn all of these cards, exert all of them to be able to get the 1 Eleanor trigger. I don't know if that's even worth it at this point. Like, we could potentially exert the Eleanor. We could exert the Judy Hopps and then play this card, giving our Angel resist when we don't have a card in hand, maybe doing 2 damage to something to stack damage. But at this point, it's starting to look a little, we could get this Nick Wilde out of here. He's got, he's a perfect snowball target to make sure we don't shift in that situation. So
yeah, it's looking kind of rough. Jed is going to have to piece together something because the quality of characters on Doug's side, pretty good here, and Jed in danger of making a decision that could completely change the way that this game characters over the quantity of Doug's characters.
Yeah, we did go ahead and put that damage on there. Now I am kind of unsure now. The Darkwing Duck does not have resist. The Launchpad in Darkwing.
It oh my goodness. I always there's so the thing about
we have Strength of a Raging Fire, so it did not matter. We had another that we just ended up throwing at the. Okay, we're doing some things here. All right, I'm on the same page now, Jed. He basically played
the challenge. And then speaking of Judy Hopps, that's going to go ahead and quest. That will turn those 3 characters sideways. That will activate the Eleanor at the end of this turn.
That was a wonderful turn there by Jed, making sure that they cleaned up the board quite efficiently. Now we do only have 2 characters left for Doug. They are pretty potent characters, that Judy being a shift base and the Launchpad and Darkwing being able to get that to the 2 lore, the way that you win the game. You know what I mean? The way that you win the game, he gets 2 of it every time he challenges and banishes something. But now you have a lot of things that you're going to have to challenge and banish. But this is going to help because, hey, we were talking about resist before. Judy Hopps is going to give all of our characters alert and resist +2. So, because they're all detectives, because that's how we built the deck, as we saw Angel up out of here immediately.
Yeah, so much. What I love about the Sapphire Steel strategy, it's just it just builds an engine. Like, these characters come down, they kind of supercharge these characters. We're seeing this Darkwing Duck and Launchpad being scarier and scarier every time one of these characters comes down. Judy Hopps, if we get a Nick Wild that lets you draw when you challenge, these are the things that you're doing with the Sapphire Steel deck. Vixie into a Pegasus on Jed's side, so saying, okay, well, if I keep presenting you with evasive characters, it's going to be real difficult for you to deal with them.
Definitely here. Now we don't have too many cards. I think, Jed, that was the last 2 cards, or 2 cards in hand, and now Doug has also gotten down to, I think, 1 or 2 cards in hand. But this is a lot of ink. We've got
this team, this Darkwing Duck and Launchpad team, so scary. You take a look at the board here. We're getting so close to that magical number 20 over on Doug's side. Jed has evasive characters. Jed has the ability to quest, but you got, at this point, it is getting kind of frightening. Doug, look at the look on the face. Kind of tells me that, hey, I believe we may be in a good place, but that Mushu coming down, deciding that might not be the situation.
Mushu's a pretty good card here, maybe giving us a little bit more card advantage coming down. But again, he is pretty fragile. And I think that was actually the scoop, because he's like, hey, I got a Mushu and you've got more ducks than dragons. So I think Jed's scooping it up here. Doug taking it at 2-0 in round number 1 of the ICL. And listen, we got a lot of Doug fans in the chat here. Go Doug, go. I keep seeing over and over again. So listen, Cleveland Lorcana newcomers taking it down in round number 1 in a swift 2-0. And to be fair, what I believe, and now with my 1 subset of data, it would be a pretty bad matchup for Emerald Steel.
Yeah, that was the vibe I got too, Color. Taking a look at that was just rough. Like, at the beginning, there was a bit of a building up. You know, both players were on pace, but I just the value that Sapphire Steel has by dropping characters that superpowers other characters. It was very, very clear that, you know, once you put down the Judy Hopps that gives resist, once you put down a Nick Wild that lets you draw cards, you start to amass that value. You start to gain that value. And it becomes really, really insurmountable. And forget about the fact that you've got that 5/7 Darkwing Duck Launchpad team. That thing is scary. That thing is so frightening. Yeah, so scary.
Yeah, I think there's a few different variants. Like I said, this was the Huntsman variant. This was also the Touch the Sky variant, which I think we saw at Ink Inc. There was a couple different types where they didn't have the Touch the Sky in there, and I think that's teched more if you're playing against Amber Emerald. And then you have the Touch the Sky version, which is just going to draw you an enormous amount of cards, which is, hey, usually just pretty good. But we saw 2 games where Jed did not play any 1-drops. And this Sapphire Steel deck is pretty good at just dealing with your lower characters as well. So we are going to get an interview here so we can actually ask Doug how they feel. What's up, Doug?
Hey, Doug.
Hey. Hey, not much. It's pretty good for a Tuesday, I think.
Yeah, I would say so. So talk to us a little bit about how that match went for you. Obviously, we had a chance to see that matchup, but I want to hear from your side of it. Like, talk to me a little bit about some of the things you were thinking, you know, when you saw what Jed was playing and how you opted to go about that match.
Yeah, so when I saw the matchup, I felt pretty comfortable. I think the deck that I've played, the sort of detectives deck that I've been working on for a little while now, can kind of beat up on the little evasive characters. I think like the big shift Judy Hopps helps a lot, and a lot of my removal helps, the terror that flaps in the night. And so I just knew that I wanted to lean on that Judy Hopps and find it as soon as I can. Game one, I think I drew 3 of them. And then I think we saw sort of the dominance that that card can have, I think, during game 2, where I just had it in play and they just couldn't really sort of quest in front of me anymore. So that was kind of the ticket to the match for sure.
So yeah, that was one of the things I was thinking about when I saw this matchup. I'm like trying to go through the math in my head, and it seemed like it would be a little bit more of a favorable matchup for Sapphire Steel, which how really often can you say that in this meta? So I'm sure you were pretty excited about that, but it seemed like Nick Wild being the draw engine, I don't think you got a Nick Wild. It was just like, oops, all Judy Hopps.
Yeah, well, I actually cut down on some of the big Nick Wild as I was coming in. I think I'm only playing 3. And he's really, really strong for sure, but being uninkable is a lot of a problem. I think that matchup hinges on like my ability to answer Vixie early. My opponent thankfully didn't have Vixie really, really early, but that's the card I'm sort of the most terrified of. And just sort of keeping a duck into Terror that Flaps in the Night makes that matchup a lot easier. I was a little afraid if he was on, I have a friend of mine that plays a version with Snowfort, and I was a little afraid he was going to be on the Snowfort version, but didn't seem like that was the case. So was feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah, who knew? A little bit of a resist does shut down Steel quite a bit. So
for sure.
Well, congratulations on your win. I mean, hey, Cleveland Lorcana coming right out of the gate, beating the Lorcana Loungers, which is, the champions of last season. So that's a pretty good start to your season. Are there any shout outs that you want to do at all? Like while you're here, I see a lot of Doug fans. There's a lot of Doug fans. So
well, most of them
are really proud, and we got you muted. So just give us 1 second while Luke unmutes you, because let's see if we're back yet. Testing. Gabe is coming back.
My apologies, friends. I had
goodness.
That match went so explosively. A light bulb in my room just exploded. So that was a lot of fun. We're here though, folks. We survived.
I can't hear Gabe.
Oh, can you test?
Can chat hear me?
So can you hear
me? Am I the problem?
I can hear both of you.
Okay.
You can hear both of us?
I can. Yes.
Oh,
hey.
Cool. Now I can hear you. Fantastic. Oh, you guys could hear everybody and I couldn't hear anybody.
I think so. Yeah.
It's a fun game to play. So
yeah, my apologies. I was just saying, Color, that things weren't crazy there for a second, but we're good now.
Yeah, so shout outs. Shout out to my team, right? I think I practice with those guys every day and they're really great. Some of them are playing later today, which is going to be awesome. So hopefully we get to see those guys and they kick some butt. But yeah, shout out to the Cleveland area. The group's great. We've got a really thriving community and I'm stoked that I get to kind of represent them on the stage and hope to continue to show how good we really are over here. So thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, congratulations again. And now you get to kick back and relax and hope that the rest of Cleveland can take the win home for you.
They got it. I'm not worried.
Awesome.
Thanks.
All right. Gabe, are you back? Now I'm all insecure about it all.
No, don't be. We're good. We're back. We've survived. Yeah, I need to get a duck detective out here to help me solve the mystery of what happened to my light bulb, but we'll figure that out later.
I was wondering. I was like, all of a sudden, I was like, all right, Gabe, just kidding. That's Franz. But yeah, so I mean, we are 0-1 now. We're sitting here. My prediction is not going well. So, but I think you did. I think you went with Cleveland, and I think we're their Doug Detectives is coming in clutch here. A lot of Doug fans. A lot of Doug fans.
I mean, can you blame them, Duck? I mean, it's, the ducks are so cool. Darkwing Duck is awesome. Launchpad is fantastic. And just ducks. I mean, ducks are so cool and they're cute. Like whenever I see a duck, I can't help but smile. We love a good duck.
Do you know a group of duck is called a waddling when they're on land?
I have heard that before. Yes, a waddling. Yeah. I've heard that, and you gotta love it. You love all these names for animals. They're so good.
Yeah, I love the names. And then the other day I was like, oh, what's a bunch of foxes called? It's a pack. And it was really disappointing, because we have like a murder of crows and then all of these really, really cool animal names. And then foxes are just a pack of foxes, a fluffle for rabbits.
A fluffle.
Yep.
That is the cutest. Speaking of Fluffle, we got Franz. The Fluffle of Franz has just showed up here. What's up, buddy?
Hello. How is everyone doing today?
Doing well. How did you get a chance to watch that last game, that Sapphire Steel, Emerald Steel matchup?
No, that didn't happen.
It's not real and it can't hurt me.
No, we're about to start game 1, right?
Tell us your thoughts. My prediction was it was pretty favored for Sapphire Steel, but I don't know.
I played the green steel deck quite often. I think it's the deck that I have the most games on in this format, and that would be the matchup that I feel is like one of the most uncomfortable. I think certain red purple matchups can feel a little bit more uncomfortable. But it's one that really puts a lot of pressure on the green steel player very early on in the game to have a solid, sizable board state and to start answering all of these Judy Hop shift targets so that they can't get into a place where they can either shift a Judy or just get to 6 ink and play a Judy and lock out the game like we saw in the first match. Obviously, in game 1, we prefer not to pass on turns 1 and 3. That's it's definitely something that I wouldn't like to happen. But it is what it is. Like those things happen in TCGs, and we have to claw back. I'm proud of Jed for getting. I feel like game 1 was pretty close for a little bit there. It really required that second Judy, like big Judy hops off the top of the deck because we knew the last card in hand to really close it up. I feel like it actually could have been pretty close otherwise. And then game 2 just felt awful from the start. Like when we're not building a board and we are forced to play Paradise Falls into Touch the Sky to draw 4 cards and we still don't have the board control, it's just tough. I like blue steel into that matchup a lot. There's a lot, like almost all of the stats line up super well for blue steel. The only thing that can really flip that stuff like that is a well-timed Angela on like a quest or something like that. But otherwise, it was tough. We weren't expecting blue steel in the first seat. I wasn't really expecting blue steel at all. So it got us, and we move on to the game 2.
All right. Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a super interesting matchup, kind of like what you were saying. The game 1 was a lot closer than I expected for that kind of situation. I think there was like a few thunderbolts that really got us back into it. And then a lot of our resources went into getting that Judy. And then, like you said, it was like, oh, wait, there's another Judy. So being able to get those favorable trades when working really hard. But hey, it's the nature of TCGs. Absolutely. But what are we hoping to see? I mean, like, not like you're not the most biased caster in this situation right now, but what are we hoping to see in round 2 here, Franz?
Well, I think if I were to take myself out from the actual managerial position of the Lazyboys, just as a commentator, I always like seeing game 3s, and I always like seeing competitive game 3s. Game 2s, whether they're competitive or not, maybe matters a little bit less to me because I know that I'm commentating both games 2 and 3. But I always would like to see things go to a game 3 and then have a good game 3. So I'm looking for the Lazyboys to pull out this game 2 and then always get a little bit of a challenge. Can't have a championship run back without a little bit of adversity in the early rounds. So getting us to game 3 and then giving our third player a little bit of a tough one being on the draw, I think is going to be fun.
Yeah, I was about to say, how does it feel though? You're like the reigning champion, so now everybody's gunning for you, and you're like, oh, we won, and it's like, get him. You're like, ah. Like,
I love it. I mean, especially in a community event like this, I think like being able to play the roles of like multiple different I guess like multiple different kinds of teams is really fun. Like the last few years we've been like the Lounger teams have gotten to playoffs and we've lost pretty early in playoffs, but last year we were able to make it all the way through. So being able to play the role of that little cocky champion trying to repeat, I think is kind of fun. And I welcome anyone like circling us on the calendar, sending their best. It just creates an extra bit of a puzzle for me to solve and hopefully make it back there.
That's really exciting. Me, I'd be like, leave me alone. I won. You know. So
without revealing your strategy too much, friends, I'm not asking you to reveal your strategy or the strategy of the Lazyboys. But I'm curious because a lot of players who watch the ICL, they think about the games, they watch the games, but they don't really think about that moment beforehand when you have to decide in what order we are deciding, and especially because it's the first like official time that you're playing with this team, never seen this team before, have no history with them. What are some things, if I were just a random manager of a team on the ICL, what are some things that I would want to consider when I'm deciding my lineup in terms of what goes in the front, what goes in the back? Like, what are some things that come into play when you're thinking about that?
For sure. And especially in these early weeks where we don't know the teams, even the meta is still like building around itself. You can't play with a ton of information. Like in the end of last season, I was every single week I would go back through every person's history on ICL. I would go like through their Twitter if I could find them. I would go through Discord if I can find them. And I would just find everything that they've played to try to figure out some sort of strategy. But here in the early games, it's a lot more relaxed, especially in the beginning of a format. People won't have cards, so you have to manage other people on their timetables for when they get their cards. Are people on vacation? Not on vacation? Are people even available to play at the times? When can they play? Stuff like that. And especially with the Lazyboys, I think we have like four or five new players and 4 or 5 players who are on the first season of ICL. So getting them up to snuff, giving them the confidence to come in to play games on camera on stream like this for 20s, 40s, sometimes even 70 people on camera is tough. It's daunting, and giving them the confidence first of all. But when you're picking decks, very, very simple strategies of what decks do you want on the play, on the draw. Always be thinking about those kinds of matchups and then from there you can place them in an order where you're.
That would surprise you.
I'm trying to think of a way to just say it without say my exact strategy for this week. But like,
give us the proprietary sauce. Come on, tell us the code.
If you know those matchups well enough, you can create a strategy around 3 decks that can put you usually in an advantage, or you can kind of put yourself in like a game 1 or 2 where if you win maybe either a 50-50 or slightly above, if a deck plays very well on the play or on the draw, you can set up your second or third game to be in a specific order, and you can go from there.
I mean, it is fascinating how the meta is completely different. You have to think about like the core meta as it stands and like the deck choices and everything. And then you have to think of like kind of what you're saying. And I think now, especially in the meta that we're sitting in, there's not like crazy polarizing matchups, but you can just got randomly no matter what you're playing. So I don't know, like I don't think we're in like a triangle meta, but boy, we are in like, it seems like it's solidifying, but at the same time, it's more of like a pentagram.
Every time it feels like the dust is starting to settle, someone drops like another beach ball onto the sand, and it's just like all of a sudden this is a 100-pound beach ball that comes up, and everything's scattered to the wind again, and everyone's trying to react to the new deck. Like a few weeks ago, Green Steel was doing very well on the ladder, and then Yellow Purple came in to react to it, and now Red Purple got to double finals of a CCQ. So that's coming in. People are still reacting to that. People are still calling for bans for Green Yellow because everyone hates Eleanor. Blah 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 blah. And those are always the most fun times for me, especially when I'm not competing. 1, because I can tweet like no tomorrow, and that's so fun. And 2, because I'm not competing right now, I can play a different deck on ladder at locals every single week, and I feel good.
Yeah, and I'm hearing that we are actually getting ready to jump to a game very, very shortly here. So before we do that, I want to make sure I give Color the opportunity to do all the things, the plugs and all that stuff. So Color, please let us know all about you.
All right. Well, yeah, I mean, I am Colors Law. I'm on Twitter and mainly streaming. I haven't been streaming this week because it's like the last week of summer and I'm trying to hang out with my kid. But I'll be back soon. We have some special cool things coming up. So pay attention to me.
Okay. I'm sure we'll learn more about coconut format as well through her. But we have here, my friend, we've got Courtney versus Colorblind. Both of these players here. First of all, Franz, let's opine here about this this Bell mat and this Beauty and the Beast mat.
That is a beautiful mat, and like it looks hand like quilted or stitched too. And I need to talk to Courtney after this, because if there's any way that she knows who made that mat, or even better, her or someone in the household made that mat, I'm gonna need to talk with them.
I was just gonna say, if it was Courtney who made this mat, or a friend of hers, I would like to be involved in that talk as well, because I'd like to have a second one or a third.
I don't know, Gabe. You might be getting kicked from the lounge soon for picking against us. If you saw my DM earlier.
I did, but you know, so I got it. So look, I'm like, I don't like to reveal the fourth wall here, but I knew you were coming, Franz. I knew it, and I needed to make sure that there was a bit of an adversarial tone as you were approaching, because we can't have both of us loving the lounge. I mean, the lounge is so cool, but you know, there's got to be love for the.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Well. I respect the showmanship, Gabe, and that's why I didn't immediately fire it off.
Thank you. I'm glad. I was expecting like an immediate call from Braden, and when I didn't get it, I'm like, okay, good. I'm somewhat safe. We should be fine. As both players are initiating the well-known 3-deck shuffle cut method. Courtney, another player with a face cam. You'll love to see it. Anytime, like I said, I always say it, whenever we can see facial reactions, I think that's just, it tells the story here of Disney Lorcana. It is so important. And so thank you, Courtney, for doing that.
It's such a
getting ready.
It's such a cool thing to do as well on camera, because the reason I started doing it was because I played a bunch of online events in other card games where like I had to have my hands like this very awkwardly, and I had to like peek down. So with a head cam like that, you can like point your cameras in a way where if you brought your hands up like this, you could like somewhat see both like your hands in both cameras. So you can kind of just hold up both. But for Courtney, we are seeing some Amber songs. What does that mean? Who knows?
I think what it means is we're going to see a lot of a young girl with her dog is what I think we're going to be seeing. But we'll find out more potentially as we see Demona, the Scourge of the Wyvern Clan, and an Omni Droid. Folks, this is going to be good. We're looking at some droid action, some bot action here.
That is very interesting. It's not what I expect. After seeing Blue Steel. Oh, the Mowgli here, very good, very very nice on the play here. We get to have some information. We see the second and third Demonas here, and we get a choice of Smolder or Thunderbolt from Colorblind, taking the looks like going for the Smolder.
Yeah, it looks like it is. It was a bit of a choice there. Courtney's debating it, but ultimately calling that it is the Smolder, trying to put pressure, it looks like, on Colorblind's hand for the future there. That Mowgli, pretty good here. It was able to hit something. So, you know, you love to see it. Whenever you can play a Mowgli or an Ursula, and you can actually land that jump and find something, that always feels so very good.
And also, like, not only like playing the Mowgli, playing an Ursula, and getting the hand advantage to plan your turns out for the next turn is already fantastic. But when you're able to rip a card, especially if you're on the draw, not this case, but if you're on the draw and you're able to rip a card out of your opponent's hand, that's so detrimental to like early curves, especially in a deck like this, who's trying to go super narrow with their board with these shift lines. We do see the new Mei Lin calling back through to Aerial Spectacular Singer, looking at the top 4 for a song.
It is, and you know, there's a lot of people who miss the Spectacular Singer. I argue that Mei Lin Lee is better because she finds herself. I think that is such a cool ability. It's so awesome, especially given the story. It's about finding yourself and who you are. So I think it's actually very fitting storytelling wise, and also fantastic mechanic.
Oh yeah, 100%. This is Lorcana. This is what Lorcana wants to be. Lorcana wants to be singing songs. We want to have decks that are built around princesses. We want to have decks that are built around Omni Droids, all of that, like very thematic. And I feel like this this rotation specifically has gotten us a little bit closer to that. We see a pass on turn 3 here, so no ability to use that. He hurled his Thunderbolt that we saw in hand earlier, and we leave a Singer on board for the Amber Steel player. This is looking better and better for Courtney here.
Yeah, amassing advantage. And speaking of amassing advantage, what better way to do that than with a discount on your next character, thanks to the Akud Edamudi playing the Lilo and Stitch team. We see it here. That dog, that sweet little puppy, and its owner hanging out here. What a powerful card it is from this set. You got to love Attack of the Vine and these team cards. This Lilo and Stitch, we're going to see it do some crazy stuff here, hopefully.
Yeah, this card, very, very interesting. The 3/5 with Resist 2, I believe it is, or Resist 1. I think it's Resist 1 and support. Being able to really support, quote unquote, the strength-based removal in Amber that was really given a big boost this set with the Gaston and us keeping World's Greatest Criminal Line.
Yep, and you are absolutely right. It is Resist 1. It's so many things. Shift 3, Resist 1, support as well. So strong. Quest for 3, as if all those 3 abilities weren't enough. So powerful, as Colorblind is going to have to maneuver around this and figure this out. We see that Demona sitting in that Inkwell. Now the question becomes, it's Courtney's turn. So let's see what Courtney does. Still, with all of her characters that she's played so far, hasn't lost a single character yet. Has been able to play Akud Edamudi. Courtney going to try to amass more and more of an advantage here. Let's see what she does.
Beautiful, beautiful Enchanted coming out here. And again, this Lilo and Stitch card being able to threaten lore and removal is just very, very cool. There we see the World's Greatest Criminal Mind, just like I was saying, taking out an Omni Droid, and this is where it starts to get a little bit more threatening. We have Colorblind's board a little bit more narrow, so even if Colorblind is able to start shifting, we keep building our board wider and wider, and we have 2 threats on the board here. Very tough for Steel decks to deal with both of those cards in one turn. This is starting to look very good. This is exactly how we wanted to start this game.
Yeah, 100%. And then not only do we have the board advantage, but we've now went ahead and put down our snowboarding Stitch. So we have an engine online now that allows us to draw cards to keep applying more and more pressure here. So this is just getting rougher and rougher for Colorblind. Putting down a character with Resist, hopefully trying to overcome the potential of a song that may remove it. As we see the Omni Droid coming in and deciding, hey, we've got to do something. I cannot just let you sit with characters. That Mowgli, a challenge into that Mowgli, sending Mowgli into the discard pile.
And yet this is getting us back into the game a little bit. However, this does show that we still don't have the Omni Droid shifts that we really want in hand. So Courtney's going to be able to get some free card advantage here. Probably another quest off of that Lilo and Stitch. We really need to start finding the bigger cards from Colorblind. We need to look for either a Syndrome or another Omni Droid, so we can start shifting into those bigger boys and filling out the board ourselves so that Courtney's board is not able to contend.
Yeah, Syndrome, such a huge piece of the Amethyst Steel strategy when you're talking about the droid strategy. It allows you to just keep bringing back those Omni Droids over and over and over again, playing them for free. It can be really, really bad. So if Colorblind can get that out, that might be a way in for Colorblind to try to take this game back. But Courtney doing a fantastic job of controlling this game, maintaining the control, putting down additional threats, playing characters that continue to let her draw so that she can keep a hand and be able to survive this onslaught. So Courtney fantastically maneuvering through this game.
Yep, just build it. Just putting on more and more stats every single turn. This is exactly what we want to do with this deck. We want to be able to stick that Lilo and Stitch. We want to be able to stick that aerial boost aerial to get some more cards, and it's just fantastic all around.
Yeah, you're not kidding. And you know, every time I play this deck, I will say that the one thing I need to learn is how to be better at managing my resources to draw. I always have a tough time. I always get to like turn 3 or 4, and I just have no hand by then. But Courtney not having this problem right now, seeing herself playing those songs with the aerial down, being able to draw, as poor Colorblind is sitting there with a lowly damaged Omni Droid looking up at 5 characters on Courtney's side of the board. This is completely unhinged what's happening right now.
Yeah, and just being able to refill every song we play, we're going to be able to look at another card with the Surfer Stitch or force Colorblind to run a big Omni Droid into that Surfer Stitch, which means they're not taking out the Lilo and Stitch. It's just It's coming out colorblind from all angles here. We are looking at a fantastic early, just first half of this game from Courtney.
Yeah, just completely dominating. And you look, and the look on her face says it all. She is stone cold right there, staring at that Demona. Finally, a character that has some beef, but you got to be careful. There could be a World's Greatest Criminal Mind. You don't even have to work to get that thing off this board if we see a World's Greatest Criminal Mind, or if we see a Gaston with that little strategy. So, Colorblind may be playing this card to draw cards, but it may not be here long for this world if Courtney can find the answer to it.
Yeah, at this point, we're entering some phases where we are looking at the top few cards of our deck, looking for cards that may not exist in looking in the face of, 13, 14 lore?
Yeah, certainly. It's at this point, you're just drawing to say, hey, what's in here? What is still in here? Speaking of what's
and just a strength off. just insult to injury here. It's just, woo.
Oh man, that was rough. Yeah, Colorblind has got to be feeling some kind of way as Courtney just turning those characters sideways with the quickness, saying, I've got control of this game. This game is over. Let me go ahead and quest. Let me draw all the cards. Colorblind, as a formality, will rubbing the hands together, by the way, to say, you know what that means when you rub your hands together.
That's being a good sport. Sometimes we see boards like that, and we're sitting there like, okay, we're 10 minutes into this round here, and I think we're just going to take another look at the top cards, see if Ryan Miller himself has created me a card, see if we've reprinted Be Prepared at 5 ink, and then we just go next.
Yeah, Ryan Miller would have to walk into the room and hand you a card that's never been made before to save you from that situation, Colorblind. But thank you for playing that through, as we're going to jump into this game 2 with a bit of a shuffle, a bit of a kerfuffle, a shuffle, and a deciding of what altars will look like here. But man, what a first game, Franz. What a fantastic first game that was for Courtney. Colorblind, unfortunately, just not able to do much of anything. I'm still not sure what exactly the deck can do just based on that game 1.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, we know that it's a robots deck. We know that steel matchups like this tend to be pretty swingy on the play, on the draw. Courtney got the play, got the first song off, and Colorblind was not able to get the shifts. We had the Zeus in hand as well too. If we had a shift, if we had shift, and we could have been able to take out both characters on Courtney's board on turn 2 or on turn 3. So it's a very swingy style play here. Yeah. Colorblind definitely looking for more of those shift robots. We're looking for the Incrediboy to get into our syndrome. We're looking to stabilize our board so that Courtney can't have little like one turns where they can remove and play a big character at the same time.
Yeah, and you're right about that. I think and this is a little bit of me having a bit of a premonition here. With Colorblind being able to go first in this game, there is the potential that play draw disparity is big here, and Colorblind is, assuming that we can get the right cards in hand, has the ability to kind of do what Courtney did. We have the Omni Droid that can deal damage if Courtney can't get a character that is strong enough to overcome that. We can shift that Omni Droid, sing a Thunderbolt. So we might be seeing pretty much a similar game, but on the opposite side here. Mm-hmm. If Colorblind can find the cards that'll get him there, and Courtney being on the back foot, that could be a big deal here. So the question becomes, will the cards line up in a way that allow Colorblind to do that, or is Courtney going to close this game out and lock this thing up at a 2-0 game? We're going to find out in just a moment.
And it looks like Courtney's sending a full 7 after a very chill sip of a Diet Coke. I'm loving the game face on Courtney. Absolutely fantastic.
How many boxes of Diet Coke do you think Courtney has in her house, considering that she's always helping out with the DCI?
I'll say ballpark between 5 and 7 right now.
I listen, I love a good Diet Coke. Don't get me wrong. If I could, I'm thinking about starting an event down here so I can get a bunch of Diet Coke for me. I wonder if I can talk to Courtney about the logistics of that, so I can just have like a throne of Diet Coke boxes. It'll be great.
Absolutely. And I will say, going into this game, Amber Steel being one of those decks that a lot of people feel on the draw has advantages because of playing that Angel, the 2/2 underdog, beckoning back to the days before the first rotation with. I don't even dare say her name, Gabe.
Say it, dude.
Cinderella Ballroom Dancer. Cinderella Ballroom Dancer. That's what I'm talking about. But being able to play down a Singer 3 before Colorblind is able to do much. However, we would be worried about the bot shift on 2 for Purple Steel, but here we do not have the Omni Droid, so an Angel coming down here would be pretty crazy. Oh, no, we don't have it.
No, we didn't find it. No, but as you mentioned, we do have that Violet Par. She does have Alert. She is a 2/1. Not a lot of evasives in Courtney's deck, I assume, but we do see a Demona entering into the Inkwell in order to allow us to play the Incredible
Boy. Yeah, this is looking a little bit scary, although we definitely have a card to focus down on the shift right now. A Syndrome coming down on curve against an opponent who already has lost the board war is extremely damaging. It's very scary.
Yeah, scary is a nice way of putting it. Courtney, is that a Pleakley?
That is a Pleakley and a pass.
Oh no, that is not what Courtney wants. Courtney with a very low tempo opening hand. I mean, we kind of knew that was a possibility when you alter 7 cards. So in a rough spot here, Courtney finding herself as colorblind is able to find the shift on that Violet Par.
Yeah, this is just a fantastic curve out from Colorblind here. Exactly what they want to be doing. They even had the Omni Droid to ditch because they don't have the regular Omni Droid. If we have a Syndrome here next turn, shifting and being able to play that Omni Droid from the discard, incredible value from Colorblind in these first few turns.
It is, yeah. Resist 1, the Violet Par. This is super resilient, has heroic synergy. Whenever you play this or another hero character, you may draw a card, then choose and discard a card. So great way to filter through your deck, find answers that you might need, maybe even find that Syndrome to grab that Omni Droid that's currently hanging out in the discard pile fronts.
Yeah, make that draw discard off of a Violet instead of a cycle. It makes it essentially a +1.
Oof, as Malin Lee coming in, hoping to do something here. Malin Lee by herself, staring at a super resilient Violet Par, and Malin Lee rather finding herself as Courtney is bringing friends to the fight.
Yeah, sometimes with this Amber Steel deck, you have to take turns like this where you are just building up some Singers, finding some more value, not overextending into plays that are going to absolutely get you wrecked here. We are hoping that Syndrome doesn't come down, but it does. Oh! And we are going to be able to put down another 4/3. And it looks like we have a song, or are we just questing? No. We are just questing out, playing out the big Omni Droid. Hopefully they don't have one of the big Omni Droids in hand to drop.
Oh, that'd be so terrible. I guess we're gonna find out. It's the one. It's just the 4. Yep, it's just the one. But still, I mean, not great here. You know, we are playing characters. Anytime you can play characters for free, you got problems. Like Courtney is definitely not in a place that she wants to be, and this is getting really, really scary.
Yes, we need to start being able to remove these cards. Maybe Colorblind has a misstep of a turn or two. Maybe they don't have another Omni Droid to build up the board again after the Syndrome. But here we're looking to remove either the Violet or the Syndrome before we can really start to build up our board again.
Yeah, as trying to amass some amount of characters here. We see Angel Experiment 624 finding its way. But it's kind of rough. Nothing going to be immediately dealt with. We of course know that Violet Par has resist, so not a viable target there. Courtney is just doing whatever she can to try to survive this thing.
Yeah, we have to keep building up. We keep building our board, getting ready to potentially have a swing turn, and hoping that Purple Colorblind does not have more bots to build off of this board already, and hope that we can stabilize.
Yeah. It's as now both players. Looks like there's a bit of a little bit of a conversation being had here, so we'll let them figure that out. But
yeah, it looks like it was just some blurriness from the cameras.
Yeah. Syndrome coming in, messing up all the technology. You know how that goes sometimes. Both players now getting situated, and Colorblind, just to kind of point where we are, about halfway through Colorblind's game here. 9 lore down, 11 more to go. Again, massive characters, and Courtney trying to figure out how we overcome this.
Yeah, we are looking for Colorblind. We're looking to have another Omni Droid in hand. We have a guidebook coming down. We have the board. Might as well take some cards, dig for another Omni Droid that we can just play off of the Syndrome regardless, and that would just be pretty free at this point.
That would be terrifying if we drew either the ultimate iteration Omnidroid or even just the version 10. I mean, there's so many scary Omnidroids in this deck here. We see the Incredible Way finding its way into the Inkwell. Now let's find out what we do as we are going to sing. Yep, we're singing Strength of a Raging Fire.
Yep, have the strength. Probably going to take out that Angel. And this is just, it's looking to be a little bit too much here, especially if Syndrome has another Omnidroid.
And we're going to find out, did Colorblind draw an Omnidroid? No, did not. Okay.
Yeah, so just from pure vibes, it's not completely over, but man, this is not it doesn't feel that great. Although a Gaston here, no, none of them have five strength off the bat here. It's tough. It's a tough road here. Sticking this Lilo and Stitch is part of it, though. If we don't have another removal and we only go to 18, we could be in a position where we can take out a few of those cards.
Yeah, getting that Lilo and Stitch down, that team card down, sending it over to Colorblind. Every time Colorblind draws a card, I wince. Oh no, Courtney's saying
that is just gonna be a scoop. Yep, for sure.
Which makes sense. I mean, that was just tough going here. And we're going to go to that game 3 that we've been talking about, that we've been wanting, Franz, and we're going to get to see it this time. Courtney will be able to be on the play,
absolutely,
which is a huge advantage for her.
And again, these steel decks like this, they're the first 2 or 3 turns for both of these decks and how they react to those plays, very important for how the rest of the game flows. We've seen it in the first game. Courtney was able to get her cards down, sing the Akud, and play out the Lilo and Stitch early into a Surfer Stitch, while Colorblind wasn't able to shift the 4/3 Omnidroid to deal with anything, was not able to use that he held his Thunderbolt that Colorblind had in hand. But on game 2, Colorblind was able to just curve out pretty easily, even without the Omnidroid shift target, and Courtney was not able to answer that, leading to this Syndrome on turn 4, play a 4/3, and just take it from there. So both of these players definitely looking for ways for Courtney to have that curve out to try to remove Colorblind's curve, and for Colorblind, we're obviously looking for that Omnidroid shift, potentially even he hurled his Thunderbolt for that Omnidroid shift.
Yeah, I mean, it was just really, really well situated on Colorblind's side. Like, if again, this was like a mirror of game 1. It felt just very much like a mirror. Courtney not really ever able to put her foot in the ground in any kind of way that allowed her to set up her board. It was just control on top of control. Now the question becomes, is the play draw disparity strong enough to carry Courtney to the victory? Will one of these players have a hand that is just exactly what they need, and will Colorblind be able to overcome it? All this and more on the next episode of the ICL, or actually right now. Right now. This minute.
Courtney going through, putting some cards down. We're looking for what exactly we want, and it looks like a 5 send. So I would expect to see at least a 1-drop. At least a 2-drop being played on turn 2. Maybe not a 1-drop. Maybe she plays the 1/3 Stitch to set up for a potential shift of her own. That would be very interesting. It puts a lot of pressure onto the Omnidroid deck because they can't take out the 1/3 Stitch with the shift on turn 2, and being able to follow up the Stitch with a turn 2 Singer would be very nice.
And Colorblind with 5 as well, so both players with the same number. So both players with a hand that some looking on the outside might say pretty even. The question becomes, will these top 5 cards of this altar change the direction for either of these players? We're going to find out as this game is about to get underway here.
Yeah, we're essentially looking to take advantage of potentially either missing the Omnidroid or starting or having a start that doesn't necessarily immediately lose the Omnidroid. But either way, we really need to focus on getting those Singers down and keeping the Purple Steel board in control, while Purple Steel is looking to go for those overwhelming opening lines that deck is absolutely known for.
Yeah, and Franz, I have a question for you. Are you the kind of person that after the altar you look at the hand right away, or do you wait till after the shuffle and the cut?
Generally, when I am mulliganing, I will take the cards that I have. I will put them to the top quarter of my deck. I will put the cards down. I will take the top cards of the deck. I will draw them to my hand that face down. I will shuffle, and then I'll pick them up when I'm done.
That tells me everything I need to know about you, buddy. That's why I like you, because it's exactly what I do. So we see an Angel to the Inkwell and a pass. Okay, so no 1-drop here, Franz.
Yep, it's pretty normal. This deck doesn't play many 1-drops. Sometimes it doesn't even play the 1/3 stitch. Obviously, that Angel being a 1-drop half the time, but we get a double pass here on turn 1, which means we are going to be able to develop a 2-drop potentially without the threat of an Omni Droid on 2.
Yeah, so seeing the Ursula getting sent to the Inkwell to play the Angel. Speaking of that Angel, there it is. And so Colorblind now getting an opportunity to respond on their second turn.
Notably, that was an a Vanessa to play to play an Angel. So for some reason here, Courtney wants that Angel instead of the Ursula Vanessa on turn 2. It'll be interesting to see what develops from that.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what it might be. I guess hopefully we'll learn more as we ink that Demona, that Scourge of the Wyvern clan, to play. Oh, another down tempo turn. We're playing the Woodchuck's guidebook here. A present for later. This is a mouse tool for later, but it doesn't help us right now. As Courtney kind of getting an edge here with the character advantage.
And this is why we wanted to play the Angel. We have the Pleakley that you were so confused about earlier. We get that extra draw. I think a big part of early rotations like this is playing those cards that can give you that extra bit of value. So Pleakley here on the play, opponent isn't able to curve out, and it's a solid body too. It especially into steel, that 4 willpower is really good into the steel removal and getting that extra draw, not having to commit too many resources to the board is very, very good here. Colorblind responding with cracking that guidebook, hoping to find something to play here.
Yeah, and for those of you that are curious, that Pleakley is called Arctic Naturalist. It has the ability Signs of Life. When you play this character, if you have another alien character in play, draw a card. Fantastic card. What a great card.
Habibi is somewhere out there crying tears of joy.
Don't give that man credit.
we do
play Incrediboy.
We do get the Incrediboy. This is a check here. This is definitely a check turn where if we do have the syndrome and we don't have the removal, getting that down and getting another robot down could be a huge swing.
Yeah, Malin Lee coming down here again. We've seen her quite a few times this game, finding herself, finding songs, and everything in between. We're going to find out, does this Glimmer find something? It does. Strength of a Raging Fire.
Yeah, so that is a strength there. We do know this sort of situation a lot of people would call a lightning rod for removal. A Incrediboy going into turn 4. We have the strength. It is almost always going to be used here.
Yeah, and Courtney is finding herself in a similar spot as game 1, just being able to answer the threats that are presenting themselves to her on Colorblind side. She's able to establish a board. Every character that comes down on Colorblind side not being able to survive the turn. So yeah, just finding ourselves in a very, very similar spot. Colorblind entering into the 4th ink, potentially, assuming we choose to do that. Maybe able to play a character that can actually stick this time. We're going to find out.
Yeah, and this deck plays some sticky cards, some resist cards. Another potential opportunity would be playing 2 different shift targets here. Looks like that's exactly what we're doing, playing 2 morphs, telling Courtney to have more removal, or this spooky unknown shift card that I might or might not have in my hand comes down next turn. Very interested in seeing what Courtney does here.
Yeah, little imitator here. That it's funny you mentioned what better shift target than the ultimate shift target.
Yeah, my baby boy. Look what they've done. I wish that they were still in green. I would be so happy. But I love this. I love the new stat line. Being in purple really creates some interesting opportunities. Playing down this Lilo and Stitch again. Maybe we do not have the removal for what these morphs. However, we do have a Lilo and Stitch to potentially help remove whatever shifts on top of it next turn.
For sure. I mean, you know, speaking of which, Strength of a Raging Fire, another one found its way here as we send that little imitator, one of those 2 little imitators away. But yeah, I mean, even not having an answer to both of these, Courtney's not that mad. Putting down a Lilo and Stitch, it always feels good when you can quest for 3, give something support, and has resist.
Absolutely. And just being able to take out another card here with 4 cards on the board and expecting Colorblind to shift next turn, the board stays super narrow. We have the ability in this Amber Ink of taking out any single character with just a Criminal Mind or potentially a Gaston, especially with this Lilo and Stitch. If Colorblind plays anything that is not 5 strength or more, being able to put that card within that range is a very interesting opportunity for both players here.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I mean, both players trying to get to the end of this final game 3 for them. Well, not the final of the night, but final for them at least. They're trying to get to the end of this game 3. Courtney way ahead when it comes to board presence, only nominally ahead on lore count, but the story here is being told on that table more than it is on the lore count for sure.
Yeah, we are looking here as Colorblind. We're looking for the ability for probably specifically Syndrome to start to build up the board again. Yep. Courtney loving the way this is going. If she's able to come back to her turn and play another big threat, nope, just the 4/3 Omni Droid to deal 2, probably going on the Angel, and then it could potentially even challenge into something and still live both of these cards only having 2 strength.
Yeah, that's tough. You'd wish for something bigger. You'd wish for something like that Syndrome here. That Syndrome would have been such a huge difference maker. But listen, you're dealing with the board. You're able to eliminate something. You're able to try to establish this board here. So Colorblind trying to come out from underneath the control that Courtney has had so far this entire game. As we are starting to see a tie here of characters on board. Does Courtney have an answer? Let's see.
Yeah, this is an inflection point in this match. This turn could be really interesting. We're getting that Akud down. Let's see what we're trying to play. Could be an Aerial, could be another Lilo and Stitch, could be a Surfer Stitch.
Could be so much here. Yeah, you're right. I mean, we are 4 ink in. She could still ink a card, but we're opting to turn one sideways. We're playing that Pleakley again, seeing more cards here. Drawing is so important in this deck. It can use so many resources, and so the more we can draw, the better off we are. Courtney identifying that when playing that Pleakley. Let's see if we can use the rest of that ink.
Yeah, and Amber Steel, like you said at the very beginning of this match, you have some trouble with some resources in the mid game. Yeah. This is exactly what Courtney's doing to mitigate that a little bit. We've gotten 2 cards off of that Pleakley already. We've sung off of that Pleakley already, and now we've gotten another one. We are turning that Stitch sideways. It looks like it is a quest. I wonder if that's going to be a Criminal Mind situation.
Ooh. Those are the vibes I'm getting, Franz, but we're gonna find out. I mean, you've got 3 ink available. Yep. We chose the Omni Droid, and it is exactly that. It is exactly World's Greatest Criminal Mind that we paid for the hard way.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. So we saw that Omni Droid come down, take out an Angel, and then take out another character on the challenge, and we have to use another card to deal with it. So that Omni Droid coming in with a pretty good trade of resources. However, we did use the morph here, so overall we did go 2 for 3-ish, but we got the +1, the draw off of the Pleakley. So I think both Courtney came out of that a little bit feeling pretty good, especially because the board is still pretty narrow. We're no longer threatening an active Syndrome on the board. That's also very important. This Violet Par looks a little bit scary here, coming down with a resist potentially.
Yeah, could be. We're inking to 6 here, choosing to ink a Strength of a Raging Fire, identifying that we don't have the board presence for that to matter as much because we're opting to play an Omni Droid here. This is version 10. It is a 6/6. It has the ability.
I don't believe it has the resist when there's nothing under it, correct?
No, my apologies. Yes, correct. While there's a card under this character, it gains resist to. That is correct.
Yeah, this is a bit of a risky play here, knowing that Courtney plays Criminal Mind. We've seen it multiple games in a row. We're looking for it here. This Criminal Mind off the top of the deck would be such a huge tempo shift.
Yeah, I think at that point, you have to. I would be crushed. We did not. Okay, so we found a Akud, but not World's Greatest Criminal Mind.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the gamble from Colorblind being trying to force out another Criminal Mind. If we have it, if we don't have it, then this Omni Droid could start to really take over the board. It takes out the Lilo and Stitch. It takes out everything on the board. It's very interesting. We're all sweating here. We're looking for it. We've seen 9 cards now.
Oh my goodness, Courtney, this is so scary. Let's see what we find. What do we find here? She's thinking.
It's a tough choice. What is she looking for? Could be a strength. We have it is a strength. We have 5 characters on board. We could potentially try to wait. We could potentially put 2 songs into the Omni Droid. Who knows? Maybe we ink and play a 1-drop and then play it. I don't know. There are many possibilities here.
No, yep, she's opting to play it. She's saying, "Hey, let me deploy this thing because you never know what might happen to my board." But she's thinking about it. She's still kind of questioning whether, she's going to do it. She's choosing the Violet Par.
Going for the Violet here. The second strength. So we're choosing to take out the Violet and then put 5 damage on the Omni Droid instead of taking out just the Omni Droid. Interesting play. This is a bit of another gamble. If Colorblind has some of those damage moving cards from purple, if we have the Cheshire Cat, if we have the Bell, this could be very, very bad. But if we don't, then we've taken out both cards on the board, and Omni Droid only gets one challenge on the back end.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, there is a Violet Par that does move damage. It's only 1 though, so whether that actually makes the difference here or not. We do see Violet Par though, a super resilient Violet Par, which is going to allow Colorblind to draw and then discard a card.
Yeah, even if we do take this trade here, Courtney's board left is just a little bit dinky compared to this 4/4 with resist 1, and we are only at 6 lore. Colorblind discarding a strength here. Something in Colorblind's hands got to be pretty good.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, if you're letting go of some removable cards here, you have to be signaling that the things in your hand are going to help carry you to potentially the end of this game. Courtney, though, still 4 characters, 4 glimmers into Colorblind's solo Violet Par. Let's see what Courtney does here.
And everything Courtney's done in this game was to get to this position where we only have 1 character on Colorblind's board, and we're not getting those syndromes ready. We're not getting those shift targets ready. We're just putting down big character after big character and questing out. We're going to 10 here. We have the Surfer Stitch. We just discarded a strength. We don't. He hurled his Thunderbolt. Doesn't take out the Stitch. This is where Courtney was trying to get in those early parts of the game.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Courtney identifying that, with as many glimmers as she has, even if Colorblind is removing 1 a turn or 2 a turn, it may be too late, the control here. As we see a second super resilient Violent Par finding its way, opting to draw and discard. Colorblind will get to do that twice because Violent Par, there's 2 of them. So it'll do that effect 2 times.
Does that matter if you... Because it's not draw 2, discard 2. It's draw 1, discard 1, draw 1, discard 1.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Let me confirm that. I did see a card discarded, I think, preemptively though.
Sure. And obviously, if you're sitting across from your opponent, those kinds of shortcuts can be fine. Just make sure that you are always on the same page as your opponent. And if anything is odd ever, make sure to give a judge a call. I believe this was fine. Just going forward, make sure everyone call 100%. If you're confused. And here we just get another big character. This one, and remember, Courtney has played 3 cards now that has drawn her an extra card on top of being a body, and now we have Ariel, which is another card that draws a card to get to an extra body. She is just playing this game 3 perfectly.
Yeah, there's just so much value that she's gotten from all these cards. She's finding what she needs. The Malin Lees have come in. She's found 3 of the 4, I believe, able to get those cards. The Aerial here, of course, more value. The Snowboarding Stitch, drawing more cards, just continuing that engine, just allowing Courtney to get to a point where now she's finally without cards in hand. But the amount of characters on board is just so overwhelming that Colorblind is going to have to find a miracle off the top of the deck here in order to try to come out from underneath this thing. So Colorblind just trying to see if there's any way to come out from underneath this. It's going to be really, really tough, though. But if Colorblind can do it, we'll be happy for it, I'm sure. And we'll make the Cleveland Lorcana team the winners tonight, if able to do that.
Yeah, we're looking for ways to get those bots back on the board, those big stats to really start to take over. We're looking for more times to get the syndrome down. We had an opportunity a little bit earlier. We didn't have it. Now we are maybe feeling the effects of that a little bit. Every single turn, just a character's getting blasted off the board. We're left with one character. Can't do much with just the one character. We haven't seen He Hurled a Thunderbolt. We've had to, I believe, discard a strength and ink a strength. We've never had a good time to use it.
Yeah, these steel mirrors are such slogs. Like it could be so rough. I mean, whenever you're playing any of these color pairings that has all the steel removal songs, like the back and forth that happens, it really becomes like an attrition. Like it's a war of attrition. Whoever can continue to do that whoever can do that till the end will survive it. Speaking of attrition, we've got Demona here that is going to exert a bunch of these characters. I believe that was a draw of 1 card for colorblind.
Yep.
To Courtney's 3. So
yep. Courtney played out the board and just essentially said, "Do your worst." I don't know if there's a card in your deck that can do it, but do it anyway. And now we're looking for some more answers. It's similar to game 3, where we're looking for Ryan Miller under the top 2 cards.
Let's see if he shows up, huh? As we send that aerial into the discard pile.
I think on one of these DLC streams where Ryan Miller or Steve Warner plays games, there should just be a moment where they just like call a judge over, get a blank card, and just like write something, and then just play just to create a card right there.
I would love every second of that. That'd be so funny. We need to see that. I want a petition for that moment because it would be so funny to watch as we see colorblind trying to do the math here, trying to make the calculus make sense. But I don't think it can. I don't think it can.
No, the math is just not working in colorblind's favor here. Those 3 Mei Lins, each questing for multiple times, starting to finally get up to it. It looks like we get the concession here. Absolutely fantastic game by Courtney. It is what it is in the Steel Mirror, and both players played their on the play games to perfection.
Yeah, with 20 minutes left on the clock as well. So very efficient with the timing as well. So both players, great job. Thank you to both players for playing it out. But congratulations to Courtney for locking up this game 2 for the Lazyboys, proving me wrong, Franz, and telling me that I might not get what I want, which is, of course,
we are not done yet. Game 3. We're going to game 3s. And guess what, Gabe? Guess what we haven't seen on either side yet?
Oh no, don't say it.
We haven't seen it. We haven't seen either team bring out the big guns, so they say.
Oh no, can it be? But there's just there could be so many. You know what's funny about that though is that even within those 2 colors, and for our folks at home, you have to know what we're talking about. But if you don't, we're talking about Amber Emerald. We're talking about
there's like 16 matchups in those. There's like 16 different matchups in that color pairing.
I was just gonna say that, like, even if they show us the first 2 cards, it's not a guarantee that we know what's going on yet. It could be aggressive.
Like, I'll link a Mowgli and play an Aurora. Like, what?
I've learned nothing. Thank you so much for teaching me nothing. But yeah, if that's the case, I mean, these Amber Emerald mirrors are going to be interesting this season for that reason. Because if you bring out a control songs against one of these Eleanor aggro decks, or even scarier, which I think is scarier, are these like item Kevin decks that are really upsetting to me. But
if we see Kevin item control in this game 3, I think I'm actually kicking for the lounge. You can't put that on me, man. I can't have it.
You don't like Buzz's arms and potions of malices?
I love looking at it on my screen. I don't love having to sit there and commentate it.
All right, and it looks like we are getting ready to spin over to an interview with the incomparable Diet Coke drinking Courtney. How's it going, Courtney?
It's going good. How are you guys tonight?
Doing wonderful, especially watching that game, watching you take those drafts of Diet Coke and be very cool on those Mei Lin checks. Tell me, how was this experience of this ICL victory? How is it based off of how you expected it to come in? Just tell me all about it.
So one, I'm very happy that today on my Stitch song, I did better into Purple Steel, because last week at League, my friend kept drawing the bot that deals 2 damage and just taking out every single character that I put on the board, and I was so over it. So I was very excited that I was able to just sequence a little bit better and have some of those bigger bodies out early game to not lose those, and also not see many of the shift bots played against me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I was going to tell you. So, I was watching you play those games. You played those games very, very well. You mentioned playing at League. I'm just curious, like, what other amount of practice have you been doing in preparation for the ACL? Like, what does your practice look like to get your mind right and to get these games going? Because you did a fantastic job in those games.
I appreciate that. So not only have I been practicing for this, but I'm also practicing for D23 and LCQ. So lots of reps. And I currently think I have 16 decks built downstairs that I've been playing into to get different reps and really prep. I have a big shout out to my team, the lounge, everybody here in like the DFW area. It's amazing having such a great support system that helps grind games. Also, Dan and Melissa have been really helpful. So just having a really good support group.
Wonderful. I want to key in specifically on some card choices in your deck.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
are playing that Pleakley, the draw a card if you have an alien. Much has been said about that Pleakley on all sides of the aisle here. Mr. Habibi himself is for it. A few people in the lounge are against it. I'm talking about you, Luca. So tell me, what are your thoughts on this
I'm
card?
for it.
And exactly, like, tell me your thoughts in that game 3 specifically, because that's the one where it popped off the most.
So I love the Pleakley. I think not only does it draw you a card when you have an alien, and in this build, there's so many alien cards that it plays off of, but the other really powerful thing that it has going for him is the fact that he's a 2/4 body, and having that like extra willpower on the back keeps him around a little bit better than some of those other characters, which is why I kind of have stuck with him and haven't swapped him out for some of the other cards that people have been replacing him with.
Awesome. And yeah, that like coming down, like I was talking about in those games, in a format like this, any card that you can get just that extra little bit of card value out, especially in a steel mirror like this, we saw it work out. You got down to those Meilin triggers where you're able to find those extra strengths. You're able to find the Akuds to get you to those big beefy cards to help you close out that game. How do you feel about this deck and just in general a kind of unknown beginning of a format, especially rotation?
Truthfully, I've really enjoyed it this time around. I feel like where last time we were getting a lot of reprints with rotations, this time being kind of that full fresh deck or fresh set of cards, it's more so just an open layout of a lot of opportunities and getting to play a lot of different decks and into a wider pool, which I enjoy. I know it scares a lot of people because they want to be able to tech into those 2 or 3 really strong decks and make their choices off that. But I do like having sort of the wider landscape to be able to play a little bit more variety.
Awesome. Well, Gabe, unless you have anything else.
No, I just want to. I just gotta say, well played again. I love the games. Thanks for playing and for showcasing this. And congratulations on your very first victory here on the ICL. Very, very awesome. Very good job.
Thanks.
I'll give you the rundown later. Good job, Courtney. Good job.
Thank you. Thanks, Coach.
Jumping into Friendly Neighborhood Watch, I love their logo, versus Nash Kana here. And it looks like we're seeing green, yellow, big boys versus some purple, yellow. Gabe, tell me your thoughts on these decks.
So I had a chance. I had a chance to commentate on a tournament this weekend with Liam from the Illumineers. You might have heard of that guy. And we actually down in South Florida because that's where I'm at. And with this, the deck that Josiah is playing is the deck that won that event very, very handedly. These Milo Thatches, so powerful. It feels like once these Milo Thatches come down, it can be so scary. Funny enough, the deck that it played against in the finals was Amber and Amethyst, And the Amber Amethyst player admitted to me before the matchup that this is not a very good matchup for them. They were kind of dreading playing this thing, that the control can get just a little bit over the top here. So Susie right now, it looks like we're, if the numbers are to be believed, it's 1-0. So we're in game 2, I believe, with Susie having won that first game, and currently in the lead. If these numbers are true, great job so far, and that Demona certainly shifting the balance here.
Yeah, those Milos specifically, very tough to deal with, but it looks like this Amber Amethyst deck is starting to build back up a bit of a counterattack here, being able to take out one of those Milo Thatches and have an Eilonwy for a potential other one. The big issue against these Milo Thatches is when you start to get those songs rolling, when you start to get those discards rolling in the second Milo Thatch, we're able to draw 2 cards at the end of every turn to refill those control options, is where we start to have issue. However, Susie going wider, just like we saw in the Steel matchup, forcing Josiah onto a single card on board, not able to remove everything, and especially in a deck like this, not able to sing too many songs.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, Josiah is just trying to amass here something. We've got a lot of ink, and we're turning it all sideways in order to play a Circle of Life to bring back the Milo Thatch that was just banished, discarding a card, which will allow Josiah to choose a character to bounce back to Susie's hand. The question becomes, go ahead.
And notably, we have played the Circle of Life, which means that has hit the discard this turn, which means both Milo Thatches will be activating. We send back the Demona, telling Susie enough lore. We are just trying to control the board now.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly where Josiah wants to be. These Milo Thatches are scary. We're seeing Susie having to commit 2 characters to them in order to deal with them at a time. You've got the Eilonwy that will likely be dealing with this Milo Thatch here, but still a 3 questing Milo Thatch waiting on the other side of that. And if Josiah can get another Circle of Life, just keep bringing it back, or if we can get a Soli, that would be insanely powerful. And just it becomes to a point where you just cannot overcome that.
Yeah, it's one of those decks that has just the top end power to contend with essentially anything the format can throw at it, which is why it looks like Susie's really, really pushing for aggressive openings earlier in the game. Something that this Amber Amethyst deck is not necessarily known for, but it looks like she's doing pretty well with it, at least in taking game 1 and getting to solid lores in game 2.
Yeah, this ice is kind of taking the place of the old formats. Elsa here, but it doesn't matter here because unfortunately both these Milo Thatches are warded. But it's just interesting to note, like so the way things are. Sometimes they stay the same. As we also play a Hades, again, not able to choose either of these Milo Thatches.
That's so tough.
Yeah, so I mean, these cards that are designed to help Susie, just not doing what they want to do. They're just characters to try to deal with the board.
Yeah, we are looking to continue. Another Circle of Life would continue this this cycle that Josiah has going on. It isn't doing a ton for the time of this round, though. We are down 0-1 and there's only 9 minutes left in the round. Could we see a potential going to turns in game 3 at the beginning of game 3? That would be a little awkward.
Yeah, what we have instead is Soli the new boss. So it's not a Circle of Life, but it does something close to that. It'll allow Josiah to choose a character from the discard pile, put it back to hand, opting to bring back an Ursula Vanessa to use as ink because we have something else to play, and that is the Max Goof in order to bring back a song. Which, if let's see, what are we grabbing?
3 costs or less, so we're taking Malicious, Mean, and Scary here.
Are we signaling that we are anticipating a Prince Philip on the way?
It depends on what else was in that discard. If that is the only song, then we can just say that, hey, I'm getting an extra card with this this Max Goof, and we're trying to get more cards into the grave. We do see the Malicious Means and combo, Malicious Means Scary combo, and we did decide to not use the Circle of Life last turn to keep it for a potential Mowgli. This is absolutely fantastic. We did just accidentally draw a card. card and show it to Susie with the Demona.
Gosh, great job, Josiah. Thanks for showing. Yeah, Josiah meant to show us. That was not you, Susie. It was to do us the favor. But yeah, that is Josiah showing that hand. That's a scary hand waiting for Susie on the other side of it. I think that the control is well on its way. Knowing that now, Susie fully aware of that, saying, "Okay, well, I'm going to get as much value as I can then from these friends."
Yep.
Then passing it back over to Josiah.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. We have a rotation, but we're still looking at Malicious, Mean, and Scary and Prince Philip. This is still happening. We're back in the building again. I feel like I'm back in Richmond.
Yeah. The hollowed halls of DLC Richmond as we sing the Malicious, Mean, and Scary, whose sneer can curdle dairy, and violence-wise, Sully's hands are not the cleanest. We're choosing to play that Akud. We're going to go ahead and exert these ink because, of course, we already knew it's coming. It's Prince Philip. He's here.
Yep, we're taking out that board here. We are still a bit of a ways away from 20 lore on Josiah's turn, but we are putting up, I believe, 8 lore on Josiah's board. So that is currently not even 2 turns here to get to 20 lore. We'd still need to get an extra lore on the board next turn and not have Susie remove anything.
Yeah, I mean, given what we're seeing here, you're right. Now, Josiah has a respectable hand thanks to that Demona. Unfortunately, that's Susie fueling Josiah's hand just a little bit with the Demonas. Josiah now going to be able to do something. The question is, what are we going to do when it's his turn? Susie playing the Elanwi here, and ultimately knocking on the table, asking for help, saying, "Ryan Miller, where are you? I heard you were helping people."
I think there are some cards here that slow this down. At least we have the 5-drop Gaston to immediately take back the Prince Philip. We have the Horseman Strikes to get rid of the Philip. That was one of the only ways to get rid of it last set in Richmond specifically. We had it here. We're able to slow down Josiah by another turn. And it looks like we're trying to just hang on here, limp our way to 20 lore. Josiah is able to come back, and we still have that Mylethach chilling on the board, getting cards every turn. What have I said, Gabe, about cards that generate more card advantage in a low-powered format like this? I've said that's fantastic.
Yeah, pretty good. PG, pretty good. In fact, as we see the Todd here, speaking of finding cards, looking for ways to see more of the deck. Going to opt to discard the Ursula Vanessa for the effect of that Todd. And this will trigger that Mylethach. So getting more card advantage on Josiah's side as well. Seeing cards with Akud, playing Max Goof again, bringing back more cards. This is, oh my goodness, just the constant return of cards. We see that Malicious, Mean, and Scary finding its way back, which will deal with that Elanwi pretty cleanly.
Yep, we're looking to just continue to get this onslaught of characters that Purple is able to play out of here and get another quest with the Mylethach, just getting one turn closer to that 20 lore. I believe right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 8 lore on the board. Once again, this is currently 2 turns to 20 at this board state. We will see if that continues.
Yeah, and just got to point out here, we have a honey character on the board. We have Kanga, the Honey Bard, Singer 5. Fantastic card. Love the honey mechanic, even though it's, we're not seeing the Blurple version of that here. We are seeing Singer 5. Singer 5, pretty sweet in a deck that sings a lot of songs.
I love in Lorcana how, while a lot of really popular characters get really good treatment, we have good Stitches, we have a few good Mickeys. I love how that kind of side characters that you have, but you haven't really thought about in 5 years can really get the spotlight here. Kanga is coming in, getting a playable card. Sully is a bit of the former. Max Goof coming in, having a looks at my ear. Get out of here.
Yeah, it's driving me nuts right now.
and obviously the poster girl of that phenomena, Eleanor, coming in as just an meta dominant card from a movie that not many people rank super highly, and as a pretty side character that isn't the main character. People don't really think about Eleanor, especially in the human form, as much. But I really like how we have a ton of these a ton of these characters that are like side characters, people that we forgot about, and they really bring it back in the spotlight.
Look at Horn King, Sully, Kanga, all in the same turn. Josiah just amassing the most insane board that you'll have ever seen. Horn King right here, potential card draw if we can get more of these. Susie throwing the hand marker away, saying, I think feeling a little bit defeated, unfortunately, but Susie's going to try their very best in order to solve for this, but it's just, you can't. There's nothing to be done here, as Josiah will take this, what I presume to be game 2. If that's the case, we've got 2.5 minutes left. I don't think we can get a full game 3 out of this. This might just be a draw.
Especially these 2 decks are some of the slower decks in the format to get questing. I would be remiss if I would be very surprised if this game ended.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to get to. They'll barely get to turn 1 before they're done. Before the game is done, it's going to be a bit. Josiah's deck is not really meant to do a whole lot until about turn 4 or 5. Susie can start questing, but that not to 20, not by turn 3. It's no Amber Emerald aggro deck, that's for sure.
All right, Gabe, take out Demona. Name a card in the typical purple yellow decks that quest for 2.
The Surfer Mickey. The Surfer Stitch count.
I'll count it. I haven't seen it much, but I'll count it.
I'm playing it, but I'm also good at the game. So. So there's that. So take that with what you want, okay?
Oh man, but yeah, the early game into like turns 4, maybe even turn 5, this purple yellow deck is just not playing cards that quest for more than 1. We're getting a ton of them out there. We're playing Willows, we're playing Hands, we're getting them out, but it's just not fast enough to take a game in a minute plus 3 turns, unless this game got an extension. But I believe we would have been told that by now.
Potentially. I mean, things do happen. Sometimes the judges are in there, and we may not know about the extension. So we will. There is a judge sitting in that room. So whatever happens, we should know. Although they don't usually use the dice to indicate. I think the judge just tells them. But there is a judge in there, so the game is being played properly. For those of you that are watching, there's nothing to be concerned about. The game will go its proper time, no matter what.
Yeah. So we're looking here. This purple yellow deck. Sitting there, if this was a normal game, I'm looking to because I'm on the play. I'm looking to get to my Isis. I'm looking to get to my Gaston as early as possible. You're playing against a song deck, and Gabe, what do we do against song decks?
We take songs out of hand. Hopefully, we find some Mowgli's if we can help it. The issue here, of course, is that can only help you so much, as we saw in Josiah's deck, and just through those last few turns, there are just so many songs, just so many of them that are coming for you. And what happens here in the beginning, especially if what Josiah is going to try to do, is get some scary characters out into the discard pile, because we want to try to. And right there, we got Singer 3. If we can get to a total of Singer 8. We can get to some very scary territory. We can start doing Under the Seas to start dealing with the board. We can play Circle of Life with enough Singer value. Play some of those cards that we're going to discard with potentially a Bobby or the Todd that lets us draw and discard. So yeah, there's just a lot of scary stuff that happens. We're using our discard pile as a second hand on Josiah's side, is what we want to do.
Yeah, fantastic. Taking out those songs, but I think another option, if you don't have a ton of Mowgli's or Ursula's in hand to take out all the songs on board, what you have to do is you have to focus on the board. Take out the singers. They can have as many songs as they want in hand, but if they don't have the characters on board, Gabe, they're just sitting in the hand.
This is very, very true. You can't sing songs if you don't have singers. That's like the speaking. We got Augustin here. Augustin pretty good for supporting and giving some of that strength to deal with cards like Gaston and World's Greatest Criminal Mind to potentially remove some of these singers.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Gabe. I've been very scared of a Cood for the last few months, but I'm not usually scared of a Cood when they pay 3 for it.
That's true. Yeah, that's the world's worst deal you've ever made. Pay 3 to get -2. As we see Malin Lee, we've been seeing her quite a bit today.
Yeah, just a fantastic card. Just a wonderful card.
It is. Yeah, it is so good. I'm standing on my statement earlier that I believe that it is better than Spectacular Singer. I like.
I believe you. I agree. A wholehearted yes, absolutely. 10 toes down. It is a better card than Ariel. Mostly because like there's not like many 5-cost songs right now that matter. Like I feel like right now the only time the Singer 5 would matter would be getting to Under the Sea math.
Yep. Ooh, look at that hand though. We've got Under the Sea, we've got Circle of Life, we got Milo Thatch, we've got Todd.
I'll tell you what. If this game was going about 20 more turns, that would be a really good hand.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, this is a great hand by turn 5 or 6. You know, but there's Under the Sea. We're gonna send as many of those characters away, and this is the last turn. We're hearing that this is in fact the last turn, so this will undoubtedly end in a draw, unfortunately. But we're just playing it through for posterity's sake.
Yeah, but the good thing about the ICL is that it's not a one match match, essentially. These players get a draw, which means that game 3 still happens, and game 3 gets to dictate how the match ends.
Yeah. And Luke, can we get confirmation as to how game 3 will be decided? Who goes first in the case of a draw? What are the official rules on that? I'm curious. I want to make sure that the audience knows. Okay, we'll get confirmation. Okay, yeah, we'll get confirmation. I'm sure the answer will appear magically in the chat, if not told to me directly. But I'm sure our audience would love to know how that happens. If I was sitting in the audience, that's what I'd be asking myself.
If I was sitting for game 3, that would be the first question I asked.
Exactly.
Yeah, Luke is telling us that he believes that the team who went first in the second game will also get the choice to go first again in the third game. Okay. That is what he believes, and he said that he can be quoted on that. So if we are wrong, it's not our fault.
Yeah, exactly. It's always Luke's fault.
It's a good tenet to live by.
Yeah, it's just always Luke's fault. If anything goes wrong, blame Luke. If it looks great, it was mostly because of me. And Franz too. Franz 100% too. Like more him than me for sure.
No. If it looks good, it's you. If it sounds good, it's me.
There you go. Bingo. You know what? I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it every day.
You know, you have that nice blazer going on. You got the beautiful shine on the top of your head.
Thank you. You should join me. You should shave your head bald. I feel like you look so good bald.
It's in my family, and I will fight it for as long as I can, and then probably when I'm like 32 to 35, it'll happen.
Oh, cool. So you got like another 15 years, and you're fine. You're good to go.
Oh, I wish I had another 15 years.
Yeah. So I'll tell you. For my bald friends out there, or my potential bald friends, I'm bald on both sides of the family. So both grandparents bald. I was never getting. There was no skipping generations for me. It was always going to happen. And I asked my dad when I was younger, is there any way that I could save my hair? And my father said that there's only one thing that's going to stop my hair from falling, and the answer was the floor. So there you go.
I see Fungus telling me to shave it. I'll tell you what, Fungus. The week I win a DLC, I will shave my head.
You realize what you just put up there? You realize what you just put up there?
I did.
Okay. I'm taking a picture with you, and I'd like to be the one that shaves you. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, honestly,
I'll make that trade. I'll make it. But here we have Cowboy Kyle 216 versus good friend Alex Hoggy, one of 3 from the championship game last season, especially known as the Green Yellow Master from championship last season. We had the Green Yellow Mirror in the game 3 of last season, and now we're starting off with Alex in game 3 again.
And boy, I was the fortunate recipient of being one of the casters of that game 3, and it was a match to behold. I put that in like my top 5 matches that I've ever casted. If you've not seen it, you have to go back. You have to rewatch that match. It was so good, so well played, and really proved. There was like a bit of a poo-poo on the fact that everyone hated watching the mirror, but that mirror match was so well played and it was awesome. And it was thanks to both players, Alex included. And here he is again, winner of the last season. I believe either fixing his light or delivering a fist dap of some kind, as we see Cowboy Kyle entering a Gaston to play a Louisa. It is not an Amber Emerald mirror, Franz. This is
yellow purple.
Amber Amethyst.
Cleveland Lorcana coming in as one of, I believe, 2 teams so far this round 1 to not register green yellow.
So much respect. So much respect. Now, do we have the same respect for Alex? That's the question.
I did say one of 2 teams.
So we do see a Pluto. We saw him ink. I believe that was the Queen. Okay, so this is indicative of the aggro strategy. I'm assuming we're playing the Amber Emerald. I think it's pretty safe to say this is pretty indicative of the speedy Eleanor Amber Emerald strategy. I think Alex deciding just because the dogs are gone does not mean that we cannot run it back.
Interesting here, we are missing the ramp for yellow purple on turn 2. This is going to be a little bit tough because we can't just go into our Tigers, into our Augustans, into our even Isis on this turn. That means that if Alex has his Willow or some more ramp on his side, then it's safe for at least another turn. And we all know what happens on turn 3.
Yeah, and that's rough because Cowboy Kyle has that Elanwi which is an easy target for the Eleanor trigger. But we do see Pocahontas not a Grandmother Willow here. Still, though, that's 2 Plutos. Alex will be able to play just about whatever he wants from his deck on the following turn.
Yeah, so 2 Plutos coming down here means that if there is an Eleanor, we can play it right now without even inking and getting another one drop down potentially afterwards. This is very important because every extra character you play alongside that Eleanor gives you an extra turn of Eleanor proc. And everyone knows, Gabe, what is the scariest thing following one Eleanor?
2 Eleanors.
A second Eleanor and getting immediately after the first Eleanor.
It is terrible. I mean, you draw 2, deal 2, gain 2. And then if you do it again on the following turn, draw 3, deal 3, gain 3. Boy, oh boy, is that frightening. Yep. Speaking of frightening, Alex just laying those characters down here. We see Bobby Zimmerowski finding its way, trying to find cards. Did we not find the Eleanor? Is Alex indicating that we did not find the Eleanor, or is he going to use Pluto's ability and then play it? Oh, we chose to exert it.
We are shifting the
Peacekeeper. Peacekeeper has found her way here. There will be no challenges on Cowboy Kyle's turn.
Yep, so no Eleanor coming down here, but we are able to get some free lore off of the Pocahontas and protect our Plutos for at least one more turn. This could potentially set up for some interesting plays next turn.
Yeah, I also want to take note of that Rapunzel that just found its way into Alex's his inkwell there. Great card, great inclusion from the set. It is the Tower Defender Rapunzel. I like it. It's in my version of this deck as well. When you play this character, it has the Fates Design. When you play this character, you may choose to discard a card. If you do, return chosen character to their player's hand. I love this Rapunzel, and I think it's a great inclusion in this deck.
I think that it is a very underrated card. At least last week, it was pretty unknown and like almost not included anywhere. I think this week it's definitely seen a lot more play. We have a Sven coming down, cannot challenge, but it will be there for the next turn. But back to the Rapunzel. This deck being aggressive style, we don't have any of that steel removal. We don't have any other removal besides the Eleanor. Having something like Rapunzel to get a card off the board for a turn can lead to 2, 3, 4, sometimes even more lore than that. Yep. And it kind of plays similar to how a steel deck would play with the Eleanor ping and being able to just remove a card for a turn. It doesn't matter if it's not completely removed. If I'm questing for 12 and I'm bouncing a dude to your hand, that dude's never going to matter again.
No, exactly. That's all it takes. I mean, the Amber Emerald aggressive decks only need but a few turns to win this game out. They can be so fast that it makes all the difference. As we see Pluto +3 equals Eleanor, the renowned diplomat.
Yeah, so right now we are getting those quests in with our smaller characters now, leaving at the Pocahontas to taking a think and getting and passing, I believe. So we're looking to keep those 2 characters up on our board, it is a little bit scary going into 5 ink. That Ham could turn sideways into a Demona, and then the Sven could take out the Eleanor. Important to note that I believe we didn't ink this turn from Alex, so we could be threatening another Eleanor, maybe something else. Who knows?
Absolutely. I mean, you're 100% right, and that's part of the reason why I think this Amber Amethyst deck can be so strong into the Amber Emerald deck. It lines like that. If we can get that Demona right now, it could spell the end for Alex's ability to win this game. It could just completely stop the movement forward. You've got cards like Isis Vanderchill like that coming down as well, which will be able to choose a character and exert it. Obviously going to be choosing that Eleanor now that we have the Sven that can very, very easily clean that up, and choosing to do so intelligently, I would say.
Yep, Sven clearing up the Eleanor. We do still have the Pocahontas up, but this Ham and this Luis can take out those Plutos, and then we're left with only 2 characters on board. That means no Eleanor coming down will be able to immediately activate.
Yes, tough. This is a tough spot for Alex now. This is not what he wanted to see. He was hoping to get at least another activation of that Eleanor at some point. But this is why people are starting to see these Amethyst strategies kind of come up. It's because it's got lines like that to deal with this problem.
Important to note though that this Pocahontas is a 3/6, so able to take out either the Ham or the Luisa if we really want to this turn.
Yep.
And it doesn't immediately get eaten by the Isis if we take out the Luisa. So interesting plays to potentially start to bring back the board a little bit from Alex's side here. Shifting another Pocahontas, getting 3 more free lore, only setting up 4 more to get to 12. But these types of turns are what builds you to eventually locking out the game at 16, 17, 18. It is a little bit of a risky gamble play, or it's a little bit desperate. However, this is what we need to be doing at this time to just get those lore. This is aggro, Gabe. We need to quest.
Yes. Absolutely. That's the name of the game. Turn sideways, win the game with aggro. That's what we do. And if we can draw into an Eleanor, we've protected these 3 characters. That's another Eleanor trigger, but we do see the Demona. That's fine, though. No challenges, but we are going to draw cards. So Alex getting to draw cards, Cowboy Kyle getting to draw 3 cards. So both players with a slightly refreshed hand. Will it be better for Cowboy Kyle, or will Alex have benefited from seeing 1 more card? We are going to find out.
He drew 2. I believe Alex drew 2.
Oh, my apologies. Yeah, so it was 2. Okay, all right. So even more reason why it could be good for Alex, as Alex is now going to take his turn.
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting point in the game where we see a lot of beef on Cowboy Kyle's board, but anytime you give green-yellow 2 extra cards plus an extra card at the top of the deck, that's when we're starting to get a little bit scary. This Mike Wazowski going even further. I don't believe we saw what Cowboy Kyle got, but it definitely was a character because it was added to hands.
Yeah, it definitely was a character. Not sure specifically what. But yeah, Alex playing that Mike Wazowski. We've this is another card that's gotten a lot of play since Attack of the Vine. It also has a very beautiful enchanted too. If you've not seen that, you got to get that enchanted up there because it is so good. But this one, boom, it is on screen. This is the Heroic Climber, has the ability to find a friend, and boy oh boy did it. When you play this character, both players get look at the top
and win a quest.
And thank you, and win a quest as well. Both players get to look at the top cards of their deck. If it is a character, they get to put it into their hand. Fantastic card.
Like, imagine if Daisy Duck got you a card too in exchange for 1 lore and 1 strength. Well, like, who cared about the strength? Like, we're playing this. We're playing Dales. We see the Dale in this card. Who cares about that 1 strength?
100% yes. I mean, it is such a powerful card. Definitely, people were wondering what it would do. It has been very clear that it is so strong. As we ink a Horseman Strikes, we're playing Luisa. So Cowboy Kyle is saying, well, I'm gonna match you character for character. You've been able to peacekeep me out of dealing with this board.
This looks like another Demona coming down.
It is. Oh,
that is definitely not what we wanted to see here. That Isis is going to be able to take out that Mike very easily, and then we have the ability to take out the Pocahontas as well with either the No, with the Demona plus another card is definitely not what we wanted to see from Alex's side. We wanted to fade one more turn, get a turn where we looked with those Mike Wazowskis at 2 more cards, potentially finding another Eleanor. And unfortunately, at this point, this is looking very scary.
It is, yeah. I mean, that's exactly what's happening here, because we've now left Alex with a lone Peacekeeper, looking back at 6 characters on Cowboy Kyle's side of the board. Not where you want to be when you're Alex. Alex is now going to have to either think through this, deal with this with whatever answers he's got in hand. But the aggressive deck does not want to be staring at a board of 6 characters. What do we find? We find another Mike Wazowski, which brings us to David.
Yeah, David and Cheshire Cat, again, another card we do not want to see. But also, we're looking at Cowboy Kyle's board. He has 8 lore on board. That is currently 2 turns, and you do not have 2 turns. You are aggro at 8 lore. This is not where we want to be, even purple yellow without the ramp on looking to close out game 1.
Yeah, this is, I mean, very, very well scouted. I think choosing the Amber Amethyst strategy, which can deal with Amber Emerald pretty well, I think it was a good call. If they were anticipating facing Amber Emerald in the last round, I think it was a good counter pick. Alex is going to have to come off from underneath this thing. We see the Eleanor, but not enough characters to activate it this turn.
Yep, we have the Eleanor down. We are currently threatening from Alex's side 5 lore the next turn. But if Cowboy Kyle does turn sideways, oh wait, we do have more than 3. Yep. We have more than 2 cards in hand, so we do not have 8 lore. We have only 6. That could be very interesting. Notable that Mike Wazowski is a Met.
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct. That was So keeping that in mind, of course, is important as we shift Louisa over here with, oh goodness gracious, this is going to get scary because we have enough stuff on the table.
We actually don't have enough. We actually can't, even if we paid 3 ink, we can't take anything out on the board.
Yeah, I think we'll leave. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because we Luisa's skill ability, being able to pay 1 whenever to move 1 damage from one of your characters to Luisa, and then if you have 3 or more damage on Luisa, you can move all of it to one of your opponent's creatures.
Yep,
that is a forced move if it has 3, so you cannot pay 4, move 4, deal 4. It has to be move 3 at the same time, so we cannot immediately take anything out with that.
No, but this Cheshire Cat over here, looking kind of scary. We're going to go ahead and send a boost, send some damage on over. Cowboy Kyle deciding where it's going to go now. I'm going to put it on the Peacekeeper.
This is very interesting. There is absolutely lines where Alex can potentially even take control of this board with maybe another Pocahontas shift plus and just a card, maybe another Mike Wazowski. That would be pretty insane, locking out the ability to challenge here. Cowboy Kyle doesn't have too much damage on the board if we're able to get a second Eleanor on board, I don't think we can't do both of those. Oh no, we can do both of those. If we get a second Eleanor plus a Pocahontas shift, we're able to lock out the challenge and take out one of those characters on Cowboy Kyle's board that has 1 damage on it, which means no, not happening. A little bit of a pipe dream, but it was there.
Yeah.
It was there.
I was holding my breath for it, but it did not happen. So we are seeing though we got 2 Hades and a Dumbo.
Very interesting to see what we have next. We're paying 1, playing a Pluto, playing another one, playing the Aurora we played, and then a David sideways, which is going to help a little bit. And then we're going to turn sideways for 4, including the Eleanor, and then putting a damage somewhere.
Yeah, and gaining a lore, drawing a card as well. That hopefully, Alex is going to want that thing to be the best card in his deck.
And again, notably, 3 cards in Cowboy Kyle's hand, so these Demonas cannot ready.
That is going to be huge. That is so big here because the clock that we've been thinking towards has been hinging on those Demonas that are currently frozen, stone by day. Those 3 cards going to come back to kick Cowboy Kyle, and he's going to try to see if we can deal with his board, though, even given the characters that are left.
even while we have that, this Louisa plus Cheshire Cat is staring us down. The Isis can take out the David. The Louisa can come in and take out the Pocahontas. And then it can move a damage to it and take out the Eleanor on its own. And then we haven't even used Cat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. We see that Ice is coming in, dealing with the David as we just described here. The Cowboy Kyle just thinking through what this turn needs to look like to survive it, because Alex is got a board here that can deal with stuff, but Cowboy Kyle, speaking of dealing with stuff, doing so effectively with this Louisa.
Yep, the Louisa coming in, and then we can pay 1, move a damage to Louisa, and then you have to resolve the entire effect. So Louisa has 4 damage with 4 health, but it gets moved before anything else is checked. So we can pay 1 and move 4 damage to this waiting Eleanor on the board right now. It was just a turn slow, I think, from Alex. Unfortunately for him, but it was a very fantastic effort to battle back into this position, but it is looking like it probably is going to be over.
Yeah, it certainly does, which is fine. This is just game 1, Franz. It's just game 1. We've got 2 more games to make up the difference, okay? And you never put a lazy boy down, I'll tell you what.
Never put a lazy boy down. I believe Alex lost game 1 of finals too.
He did. Yeah, he came back and mounted a comeback. It was insane.
Here we see again, Louisa is not one for turn. So if you have the ink to pay, you have the ink to play.
Yeah. I do. We chose that Mike Wazowski for the Louisa effect, and pulling in the rest of the damage here is going to put 3 on the Pluto. All right. Cheshire Cat coming in, dealing 3 damage to the Eleanor. We have enough to boost, so we're going to go ahead and boost it.
Yep, taking out probably this Aurora here, and then we have characters to send into the Eleanor as well. It was a very good turn. We had the abilities to take out pretty much everything on the board. I'm not sure if we could have done anything else.
No, really, this is exactly what you're looking for here. We're going to gain that lore from that ham, and then essentially with 2 cards, if my eyes do not deceive me, 2 cards in hand, I do believe those Demonas will finally have their time in, I guess not in the sun, but in the nighttime.
Yeah, it's very scary. We are at 10. Yeah, it looks like Alex is scooping them up and moving on.
Yeah, just wanted to take a look at that last card, see if there's any difference maker. There's not. Again, Ryan Miller did not walk into the room. And so we're going to shuffle
up. Green Yellow Aggro can have a lot of creative cards. It cannot have all the creative cards, Gabe.
Yeah, I think Eleanor was enough of a creative card, okay?
We've got Eleanor, we've got Mike, we've got Willow. We've got a lot of pretty good cards here. But here, moving into game 2, we have Alex on the play. Obviously, what aggro wants to be doing. Both decks missing their ideal turn 2. Obviously, Alex is playing a Pluto into a second Pluto, so you still have 2 ramps on turn 2. Oh well, we didn't have the Willow or the ham on Cowboy Kyle's side. Obviously, we're going to be looking for that. We're going to be looking for Alex to set up an Eleanor on turn 3, maybe a double Eleanor into turn 4. And on Cowboy Kyle's side, we are looking for that Willow. We're looking for that ham, and then we're looking for the Tigers. We're looking for the Svens. We're looking for even potentially an Augustin to take out an Eleanor with a Gaston on turn 4. So those things are going to be what both players are looking for here.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, they both have the means to get to where they need to go. Amber Emerald and Alex has the ability to go as fast as they can and try to get from underneath this. Cowboy Kyle has means to exert characters, send characters back to hand. It's just all answers on both sides. The question becomes who finds it. Alex, of course, being on the play is on the advantage as the aggressive deck. That's kind of how that works here. Aggressive wants to be going first, wants to go fast, and Alex is going to try to take advantage of it.
Yep, we're looking here. We are getting to this mulligan. Very, very important to see both of these players here. We've seen this matchup before. We'll see it again. It's only thing left to say is how many Eleanors we got. How many?
Yeah, that's going to be the real question here, Franz. Now we see both players kind of going through their altar right now. Alex putting down cards, putting down 4 so far, sitting back 3. Okay, so likes the 4 cards, sitting back 3. Not a terrible spot to be at. Cowboy Kyle, it looks like the same number. No, 4.
I believe it was
Cowboy Kyle's side.
4.
Yep.
I think it was 4 on Kyle's side.
Yeah, okay. So both kind of indicating that they had a pretty even hand.
Yeah, when you're sending back 3 or 4, it's definitely getting into the one of those middling hands. I often find that putting back 3 cards and keeping 4, especially when I'm on the play, I find that to be a little bit awkward sometimes. Like if the cards that if I'm keeping all 4 of the cards that I really want, those are cards that I want to be playing in the first 2, 3, 4 turns ish. And then I'm kind of hoping that the 3 cards off the top of my deck and the first 2 or 3 cards on turns 2 through 4 are essentially just inkables that don't really matter. Because if I have those 4 cards, usually that means that my curve is pretty set.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's true. I mean, you're trying to find things that'll keep the hand filled up. So you're probably hoping for either a Nani or you're hoping for a Mike Wazowski. But again, to your point, you still need inkables. You need a couple of inkables. You don't need that many inkables, but you need a couple.
Yeah, especially when your early curve does consist of Plutos, of Willows, stuff like that, and like sometimes you're even holding Eleanors. They're on inkables. They're there. Like you might not see them like right away, but some of them are a little scary.
Yeah, and you know we talk about that Pluto. Sometimes depending on how your hand is situated, you might have an Aurora, you might have a Pluto. You're going to be more inclined to drop that Pluto to try to keep your hand able to answer yourself or to be able to ink things if you need to in the future. So sometimes those inkables dictate what you play, even if you might want to play something else.
We are looking here to play the Luisa. Having the Luisa both games, very good for Cowboy Kyle, being able to immediately threaten that Pluto so we don't get a free ink off of the Pluto. So let's see what happens here.
Ooh, Bobby to the Inkwell to play Grandmother Willow with another Pluto.
And this is getting close to the dream game.
Yes. This is insane. I mean, we have a -1 discount on whatever character we want to play. So assuming we have an Eleanor in hand on Alex's side, that's going to be a 1 cost Eleanor. We see Rafiki, we see Grandmother Willow and Cowboy Kyle's side saying, hey, whatever you decide to exert this coming turn will not be long for this realm. So I mean, that's a good way to deal with these characters and try to reduce anything too scary from this Eleanor here. Let's find out if he has it, though.
Yep, we're coming down. We're going into our turn 3. There's plenty of options here. We can play an Eleanor for 1 ink, which means we can ink and play a 2-drop. Is that 2-drop David? Is that 2-drop Pocahontas? Exactly. Are we projecting this play even though we don't know if the Eleanor is even there? Maybe.
Ooh, so we ink the Queen. Oh, we played Dale.
We have a Dale, though.
Okay.
And we are taking out the Luisa. Yep. Very interesting play here. Both these Plutos able to challenge back into the Rafiki and the Willow. Cowboy Kyle probably was looking to get just a cheeky extra lore there, but getting a little bit of a punish there by those Plutos coming in and not being threatened by any of those cards to do more than 1 for 1.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. We talk about Amber Emerald being the aggro deck, but in order to get to that point, it has to be an effective control deck too. So there is control elements in this deck. When you find those opportunities to deal with the board, sometimes you just got to take them here. We go ahead and we play the Tigger. So Tigger will be bouncing something all the way back to Alex's hand. It is, of course, the Grandmother Willow.
Yep, we have the Willow going back, but that can just come back next turn. And with those Plutos, we can play that Willow. And now we only have 1 Pluto. So those one of those Plutos was able to get a 2 for 1 essentially, which is just wonderful. That's like fantastic.
Yeah, that's great. I mean that is whenever your 0 strength Pluto can take out 2 characters, you've done pretty good for yourself
in battle. It's crazy. Yeah, it looks like we are looking here. We cannot activate Eleanor on this turn, I don't believe. No, we cannot because we wouldn't have enough to play a David after it. So very interesting to see what we're going to do.
Yeah, Alex was put in a very weird spot as a result of the Tigger sending back the Willow, being able to play the Nani, though. That could be really big. Let's see what we find here.
Grabbing a Bobby, looking to dig further into the deck. Obviously, looking for those Eleanors, looking for those Pocahontases, looking for those Mikes. But we do still have the Dale here, so we do still have some opportunity to get some value out of that Pluto. Although we'll probably see it be taken out by the Tigger, but we do want to get that Bobby down now.
Yeah, we do. We certainly do. And, we do have that Dale down. So unless Cowboy Kyle has an answer for the Dale, it's going to at least deal some damage to the Tigger, create a little bit of awkwardness for him. But Alex is going to go ahead, lay the cards down, and we have quite the board on Alex's side right now.
We are able to go to a 5-drop this turn if we so wish, but I don't think many of the 5-drops do much here. Maybe a Hades to choose that Dale, but if we're holding a Demona in hand, we don't really care to have all of that, all those cards.
No, but a Cheshire Cat, of course, is a problem here because that Pluto will be dealing damage. So the damage that now gets placed onto the Tigger can be moved because we do have 2 open ink, which will allow us to boost here, send those 2 damage over to the potentially the Grandmother Willow, of course, and that is a bit of a problem for Alex.
Yeah, that is going to be a very tough road to sled here. We're still low on characters. We're low on lore. We don't have Eleanor. We're not in the place we really want to be right now.
No, yeah, just not finding the exact lines that Alex wants. Alex kind of put in a position to deal with the board because we didn't have the Eleanors. The Dale having a lot of value here, but Cowboy Kyle is slowly getting into those turns that can get really dicey. We're approaching a Demona turn here as well. So so many things can completely shift the dynamic as Alex decides to send Nani in on a challenge to deal with that Tigger, saying, hey, well, if you're going to do something, I can't let you do a lot. So Alex dealing with the board, playing the control role right now as Cowboy Kyle is going to take his turn.
Yep, and then this is going for potentially a 5-drop. A Louisa here is a tough character to deal with from Alex's side here. We have a Cheshire Cat as well, another tough character to deal with. We don't have those 0-4s to battle in. We have just 2 Bobbies and the Dale, and we don't want to turn that Dale sideways. We're looking for something to get out of it. We're looking for some Mikes. We're looking for maybe another Bobby, maybe another Nani, something to just really build the board back up and get back into this thing.
Yeah, it's tough. We didn't get to see those 4 cards, but if Alex is anything like me, when he played that Nani, he probably saw 3 Eleanors and then the Bobby that he took to hand. If it's anything like me,
sometimes it happens, man. It's the nature of TCGs. Sometimes you'll see the 3 Eleanors in the Nani. Sometimes you'll see the 3 Eleanors in the first 3 cards of the deck.
Yeah, as we see that Rapunzel, that tower defender finding its way down, sending the Louisa back to the hand for Cowboy Kyle, which gives Alex the desire, the choice to go ahead and send that Dale on a bit of a quest here, a little sneaky quest potentially to see if he can get a 2-for-1. Cowboy Kyle saying, well, I'll take this opportunity to play those 2 characters instead of shifting.
Yeah, we get the Rapunzel down, essentially giving an extra turn where essentially Cowboy Kyle's last turn was kind of blanked. But instead of taking any kind of bait, playing a Demona, we're just playing out the cards again and just daring Alex to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, a Demona here would be terrible for Alex. It is not, though. It is a Louisa that is free into another Louisa, the climber here. So we are just amassing a board. We're playing 2 characters a turn at this point on Cowboy Kyle's side, and Alex is just looking at this board grow and grow and grow and can't be feeling too hot about this.
No, the only thing that we're really looking to get out of this is probably a Mike Wazowski. We're getting a quest with Louisa, trying to get Alex to turn things sideways. That Thomas is going to be the only thing that can really safely take out the Louisa. But we're paying 2. That is a Mike Wazowski. We're able to start building a little bit, but that is not an Eleanor. Is just an Ursula. But it is a character. We are going to get it down. We take a look again at that Willow that was just added to hand, and we are going to think about turning this Tomas sideways into the Louisa for free because none of those characters can hold damage after challenging into the Tomas with the Dale on board.
Yeah, fantastic time. I mean, Thomas, such a good card. The 0-4 still very relevant here because of that Dale. You love to see it. So Alex seeing that, identifying that, and saying, "Well, you know what? Let me try to control the board. Let me play that control role as best as I can." We're all kind of at a standstill right now, but it doesn't mean that I can't do my very best.
Yep, I believe Cowboy Kyle now with 2 cards in hand, including that Willow that we saw last turn.
Mm-hmm.
Let us see what he drew. Exerting 3 to pay a 4-drop. It is an Augustin, another just big thing. We can no longer turn those 0-4 sideways without fear of those damages moving.
That is so tough for Alex. Trying to get those sneaky little cheeky quests in is going to have to be paused now because of that Augustin. That Augustin presenting a lot of problems. A, in the form of holding damage. B, because it now has support and can activate cards like Gaston, can activate cards like World's Greatest Criminal Mind. Alex drawing a card, going to quest with that Mike Wazowski, see another card, which is the Eleanor.
There's an Eleanor.
Took long enough to find her, but she's finally here.
So we have the Eleanor. We're able to get it down. Again, though, there is this Louisa and Augustin and the Cheshire Cat. This is what really took out Alex's board last game. I'm wondering I'm wondering how he's going to try and navigate this board.
It looks rough right now, but Alex, if there's anybody that can do it, it is certainly Alex here. I'm going to go ahead and play that Eleanor. Thinking about it, the universal sign of you go, which is the hand motion, of course, finally committing to it as Cowboy Kyle is going.
Yeah, so I believe if Alex turns his board there sideways, there is so much Cowboy Kyle can do. In this case, we are able to field the Eleanor, and that is just absolutely tough. Do we have 4 ink? We have 4 ink still, so we can take out this we can take out this Mike with Augustin plus something else and have both cats to move the damage to the Eleanor. That is just an absolutely backbreaker. I believe we see that off of the Mike last turn. I think it was probably that.
I think, I want to say.
No, we're passing here. We're not taking the opportunity to take out the Eleanor.
Okay, interesting choices here. Of course, factoring in whatever it is that Cowboy Kyle was factoring in. Alex probably breathing a sigh of relief a little bit from that, but
yeah, this is exactly what Alex wanted to do from that last turn, was to get that card, get the Eleanor down, and start to figure out a way to get out of this. We're still having to deal with those extra with Luisa's and double cats, and now even a Sven, but it's still tough.
Yeah. This is getting wild here. Now, Alex opting to play that Thomas that we found with the Mike Wazowski. Let's see, what else do we do here? We've got 3 remaining ink. Fiddling around with it is going to be 2 to play David, but not activating its bodyguard effect.
Yeah, looks like we are going to try and do the same thing that we did last turn, which is just let the opponent go and build up a board to get a potential Lorthal in 1. Maybe we have, let's see, if we do the same thing, we don't take anything out, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 on 4 lore here. Gets you to 15. But still, it looks like we're activating Dumbo.
Oh, yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. That's totally what I meant.
But still, we are not taking the opportunity here to use the Augustin to take out the Mike Wazowski with another card and then move those damage with the cats onto the Eleanor, giving Alex another turn just like he wanted.
Yeah, this is kind of a bold move here on Cowboy Kyle's side. I think respecting maybe respecting just the board a little bit too much. Might need to get in there and start dealing with stuff, but Alex is doing the very best that he can with what he's got. Cowboy Kyle here turning the Willow sideways, opting to quest with that, I guess baiting Alex into potentially a challenge here. We're going to go ahead and quest with the Cheshire Cat. So I think Cowboy Kyle is finally deciding that he has to move and force Alex into a position to deal with the board.
This is definitely going to force action from Alex there. Those being able to take out the Cheshire Cat as well as the Willow, just taking out more things that the opponent cannot immediately just decimate his board with multiple Cheshire Cat activations, with multiple Luisas. Now we see the Isis, which means that we are going to have to do something, because if we do not, that Isis is going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, and Alex identifying that right away. You see immediately going in for the quest, turning multiple characters sideways. Now we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 9 points of lore through questing.
So we get the 14, and then we get a 15th off of the Eleanor, plus whatever we play here. We're just playing a second Dale. That is a huge card here, letting Alex turn his first Dale sideways to get that 2 extra lore here. Now Cowboy Kyle is in a position where it's going to be very interesting, because that Louisa cannot challenge the Eleanor, the David, the Mike, or the Dale, or the Thomas. And the only thing that it could challenge with 3 strength is the Rapunzel, but we couldn't leave that up with Alex, because we know that there was an Isis in hand.
Yeah, that Isis really forced an action on Alex's side there, and I think Cowboy Kyle, now being in the position of dealing with Alex, has to deal with Alex, because Alex will literally win next turn without an answer to this. The question becomes, how is Cowboy Kyle going to approach the awkward math that Alex has left for him with these multiple Dales, this David, and all the stuff that's sitting here waiting for him?
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff to do. We still have the 2 Cheshire Cats up. We have the Augustin. We have the Louisa. So most of it's essentially limitless what we can do here.
Yeah. Playing Isis to turn the last character that was not exerted sideways. So both Dales now in the line of sight for all of these characters that Cowboy Kyle can choose for challenging.
We're picking up that Sven. Looking like that Sven will be the first to go in, maybe against the David.
Yeah, it would have to be the David for sure, because of the bodyguard, of course.
Potentially turning it sideways with the Dumbo as well.
Oh yeah, that's true too. This is a good So, and Cowboy Kyle thinking about it, and opting to send it in for that challenge. David is banished.
Yep. So now we have the rest of the board very free to do whatever we want to do with these challenges.
Yeah, I mean, certainly going to want to deal with these Dales first and foremost if you can help it. We do see the Augustin getting primed and ready potentially. Cowboy Kyle just not 100% willing to commit to making that call here, grabbing instead the climbing Louisa.
Sending the Louisa into something. What are we doing? We're sending into the Rapunzel to get that 3 damage on it, and then we'll be able to pay 1, move that Cheshire Cat damage to the Louisa, take out one of the Dales or the Eleanor, which would make things a lot easier for Cowboy Kyle. Taking out a Dale, I'm assuming that we'll probably take out the second Dale with that Augustin trigger on a Willow, probably. And then we have removed the Dales. We've removed all the triggers, and we can go forward. We will see what happens after that.
I believe we quested with the Augustin.
Mm-hmm. Yep, quest with the Augustin, support on the Willow, take out the
Nice.
Dale. And now we have 2 Cheshire Cats, a Dumbo, a Louisa, and a Willow left to battle, and we have not inked for turn. If we have another card, we can potentially get 2 cat activations.
Yeah, so this is looking kind of rough for Alex here. Alex is going to have to see what we're going to do on the other side of this turn. Cowboy Kyle exerting that Cheshire Cat. To apply to go ahead and go in for a challenge against the Eleanor, and then using the boost effect to send 2 of that damage over to a Bobby, which will go, of course, banish that. We see another potential challenge coming in here through a Cheshire Cat. Yep, the Cheshire Cat will finish off the Eleanor in that challenge, placing the 3 damage onto the Cheshire Cat.
Now we're getting down to the last bit of actions here that we can do. Time to see what Cowboy Kyle leaves on Alex's side. Does he want to take out that Mike to stop the potential card draw, or does he want to get a little bit more from the Mike himself?
Yeah, I'd argue that the Mike has been way more beneficial to Cowboy Kyle at this stage than it has been to Alex. Unfortunately, Alex just not finding the Eleanor until way too late in this game. And so, just Cowboy Kyle finding Isis as a result of it, finding the Cheshire Cats, finding all these answers. But you have to say goodbye to it, unfortunately. It is time for Mike to leave as Cowboy Kyle exerts these characters and starts to initiate his plan to finish this game and
All right.
go as close to 20 as possible.
So we have 15 going to 17 here. We do know that there is a Pocahontas 3-drop in Alex's hand. We will see what happens next. Important to note, there isn't much damage on the board here. We do get a Rapunzel. We're going to be sending something back. I'm assuming. Ooh, this is actually a tough one.
It's tough. This is so tough. I mean, a lot of these cards, there's cards you can send back that Luisa is certainly one, but there's a lot of cards that have an effect when they enter play. So tough choices here.
Yeah, so it looks like we're passing. It is definitely possible for Cowboy Kyle still to shift that Louisa and get more damage onto the board and onto her to get a proc with the current board on Alex's side. So we're choosing not to go to 17, essentially hoping that another Isis isn't happening or a Demona is not happening.
All right. Well, Cowboy Kyle's trying to find something. So we are going to go ahead and use the making history effect of Dumbo. We quested with the Augustin. Augustin now has support to give to someone. Looks like Augustin might be assigning it to Rapunzel. Yep, because we do have the Gaston. Gaston does find its way down. The Rapunzel is banished, leaving Alex with a Thomas and an Ursula left on the field. This is looking really, really rough here. Cowboy Kyle is just controlling this board.
Yep, another turn essentially where Alex is blanked a little bit. We are shifting the Louisa here, turning everything else sideways. I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're at 14 with 8 characters on board. So unless we can get to 20 here or take out 3 lore, this is looking to be the end.
It is. It does not look good for Alex. Alex is trying to find whatever we can, but Cowboy Kyle, with this Amber Amethyst strategy, just slowly amassing control over the course of the game, and finally in a position now, 8 characters on the board, and was able to control it. Alex sending it in. It is the end of this game, and unfortunately for last season's champions, they are going to start their season with a loss. But congratulations to Cowboy Kyle. Congratulations to Cleveland Lorcana in their first match here, really showing everybody that they're here for a reason.
Yeah, some absolutely fantastic games today. We had a we had a game plan that we wanted to have coming in, and they had some very good counter picks for us. Some very good games were played. Cowboy Kyle, they're playing very, very well in those early parts of the games to take over the board and be able to survive the onslaught that Alex had coming back. Alex very known on this channel for coming back from a little bit weird odds and pulling a rabbit out of his hat per se, but not this time. We were able to shut down the green-yellow aggro deck.
Yes, the lounge will be somber with the sounds of Franz's coaching as they prepare for their next matchup. But this is the very beginning, Franz, and this is the very beginning for the Lazyboys. It is not over, not even by a long shot. I'd say we haven't even started yet. There's still a lot. There's all of season left to be played, and still so much for the Lazyboys to do. Listen, they put the lounge, the Lazyboys put together a valiant effort. It was very well fought. I think we saw a lot of fantastic games. Courtney's game, just such a fantastic game. Love watching that. I think there's a lot to be said there too. But Cleveland Lorcana, great team. Love seeing y'all here. Glad to have the representation from more teams in the ICL. And again, congratulations to them. In a moment, I'm sure we're going to be getting a interview, but we're just waiting on word from production, aka Luke, to figure out when that will happen.
Interview setting up soon. Interview coming up soon.
But man, that was so much fun to watch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this is what I love about like the first few weeks. Like we get a lot of information coming in at one time, and then we're able to react to that going forward. Very excited to continue to play in these next few rounds and really start to make an identity for this squad. I'm very excited to continue with that.
Yeah. And I think, for the people out there that have never played in the season of the ICL, for people that are just watching, I think what also makes this different than, your traditional tournament structure is that we don't really ID here in the ICL. There is no IDing. So it really what winds up happening is that every game, every match matters. There is no there never comes a point where a game doesn't matter, and because of the point system, the point structure, every single victory matters as well. So even if you do end up losing, the taking a game in these matches matters significantly, because they could certainly carry over and give you the points that you need to help you make top cut, or they can certainly help you put you over the edge and let you be first in Swiss rounds to get you into the next phase of this tournament. So really important stuff.
Absolutely, there are definitely two phases of the ICL, and we're always playing different games in both of them. We're trying to get those points in the first season. In the first wave, to get an advantage in the second wave, because then deck building becomes easier, scouting becomes easier, everything becomes just a little bit easier if you know where you're playing in game ones. All right, so we're going to scoop on over to an interview with Cowboy Kyle.
Cowboy.
Doing good, Kyle. Fantastic play. What made you guys think about purple yellow? What made you think about this build specifically? What are your main thoughts on that deck?
It's where I feel like all us Blurple players kind of fell off into. You know what I mean? I think the addition of something like the Augustin into the Gaston is just so good.
It gives similar vibes to season 1 going 4-drop into Maui, season 2 going Elsa on turn 4, and now we have Augustin into a Gaston on turn 4.
Yeah, and that's a matchup too, or sometimes I feel like I'm not going to hit that line, right? It's just one of those weird things. But it just lined up there with that Rapunzel. It was great.
Yeah, and go ahead, Gabe.
No, I was gonna say, you mentioned that it does well into like some more of those like mid-range decks. It clearly did very well into this strategy as well, this Amber Emerald strategy, because of those Amethyst characters that can force exertion. You got the Tigger, you've got the Isis. So clearly very well positioned. I think we've been seeing this strategy climb up there. Now, my question to you is, like, especially when it comes to the ICL, oftentimes you're assigned a deck to play, or you come in with a deck that you've been playing for a while. Is this color pairing one that you've been playing with since the start of the format, or were you kind of assigned this in preparation for the ICL?
No, I've kind of been bouncing around decks. I haven't found a true deck home this set. You would say previous sets, I was a green blue stan. I love playing green blue, and everyone keeps telling me, why aren't you playing yellow green circle? So, but Blurple was always like a favorite of my list too from the past. Just kind of going back to there. No, we don't really have a decision of who's playing what or whatever. The core group of our team, people play what they want to play. We discuss it and we go from there. But like something like this, obviously, right? You need to be able to kind of decide and choose what people are playing going into tonight. And for instance, like round 1, Doug loves playing his blue steel. Doug Tectives is his thing. So I'll be like, yeah, go and play it. And then Purple Steel, colorblind, he's been really digging bots. So I'm like, yeah, go play bots. Like, just go play something you're gonna have fun, right? Because at the end of the day, if you're not playing something you're not having fun and enjoying playing, you're just not gonna enjoy the game.
100%. Love seeing people come in having a good time, and just having a good time because they're winning too. So looks like you guys are moving on to a 1-0 victory. 1-0 victory in this round 1. That could bear very well for going forward into those dog days of rounds 6 and 7. So hopefully you guys can keep it up. I'm looking forward to potentially getting the rematch against you guys in the playoffs. So maybe I can play myself this time.
Ooh,
bring it.
I was going to say, we got a challenge already. Getting ready for the finals here. You love to hear it. You love to hear the sportsmanship, the competitiveness. But Cowboy Kyle, I mean, just like thank you to the Cleveland Lorcana team for playing these games live and in person. It can be very stressful. It can be very intimidating. I know I've played in the ICL as well, first 2 seasons, and it can be really stressful. There's a lot of people watching you. People can be very judgmental. So give a shout out to your team. If they're not, I'm sure they're watching this, and
they're watching. They're out there watching.
Huge shout out to them.
Yeah, no, shout out to you guys, the casters, everybody here, ICL, Wonder, all those guys, everybody. You guys do a great production. You guys do all the things. It's a great thing for our community to see this, to like showcase our game in a way every week when there's downtime. While all of us are getting prepped for LCQs and nationals, this is awesome. We need content like this, which is great, and you guys are the backbone of this every week, and I appreciate that. Also, just shout out to Cleveland, Lorcana, everybody back home. Like I said, we have a city name. We are a community here in Northeast Ohio, and we do everything we can to like push ourselves and like get ourselves ready so we can come to these major events and can compete on a bigger stage. So we appreciate that. And again, shout out to everybody. Thank you.
No, there is no us without the teams. There is first of all, thank you. I appreciate that. I do not want to diminish your thanks. And Luke, I'm sure Luke loves when people thanks him, and so we do appreciate that. But there is no us without the teams out there. So yeah, it works both ways for sure. Now so you had a chance to shout out your team. We're excited to see you guys going into the next rounds, and I'm so excited to watch all these teams. Is there anybody else that you want to give shout outs to? I know you mentioned the team, but I want to give you this opportunity for anybody that you want to shout out aside from the team themselves.
You know what? I'll shout out other people. Like there's a lot of people I talk to. I talk to people over in the flower farm. I talk to people over in the Sailors Discord. Those guys, without their help, without their guidance and asking questions and stuff like that too. Even people over in the lounge. I talk to a lot of people over in the lounge too. Those guys are great. Your Hansons and your Gavin. Gavin's great. So I appreciate everybody in the community. I think while everybody is like kind of gunning for that top spot, everybody is trying to help everybody be better.
For sure. Yeah.
So I think that's awesome. But yeah, no real shout out. Just those people that, yeah.
Very cool. Well, Cowboy Kyle, I again, thank you. And huge shout out to you guys. And yeah, we'll be seeing, I can't wait to see more from you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, for sure.
Bye.
All right, Cowboy Kyle, we'll see you later, buddy. As we jump into another game, we are in game 3 here. 8 minutes left to go. We've got John Hasibi from Nashcana, a staple here now in the ICL versus Jingle Joe from the Neighborhood Watch. And what we're seeing here, oh my goodness, we're seeing Amber Sapphire, Samber as they love to call it. And I see a Ruby card. I believe that's Ruby Amethyst that we're seeing here.
Ruby Amethyst with a location in rotation.
Yeah, I'm trying. I do recognize the Mr. Incredible. I'm trying to recognize the location here. The aspect ratio is a little bit weird on this, but we'll figure it out shortly here.
Go. Pull up tabs. Go.
We're working on it, folks. We're working on it. But yes, we do see Mr. Incredible hanging out at a location. You've got Hades, classic. It's a classic.
Never mind. It's gone now.
Okay. JK. But we do have a classic card that's been around since set 1, returned during Fable, so still here. The Infernal Schemer Hades, 2 of them with a Surfboarding Stitch, another card that returned in Fable that's also been around. I feel like we're watching a set 1 game here with Let It Go, no less.
Hey, let it go on a red 5-drop. Where have I seen this before? But yeah, it looks like Jingle Joe is in quite the commanding position. But I just realized Nashcon is at 18 lore. I just realized that is definitely going to be a bit of a clencher coming through here. We had the location, we got rid of the location, we had the character, we got rid of the character. It looks like we have 1 card in John's hand here, so it is definitely not over.
No, it is not. I mean, we are looking at we've got 7 lore on the table represented on Jingle Joe's side. He's going to go ahead and take a little sneaky quest here, a free quest even, taking himself all the way up to 12 with 7 lore on the board. 1 shy of a victory here on Jingle Joe's side. Can John Hasebi muster up 2 points of lore and lock this thing out, or will Jingle Joe sneak in and win this from behind?
Notable that we are only questing to 19 here, so John does technically have 1 more turn, so he does not need to gain the lore now unless Jingle Joe is playing the set 1 reprinted blue Aurora.
Quite the oh no! One of those characters is not.
No, that
does
is
not have
a
lore on
reckless
it.
character. No.
Oh, that is rough. Okay, all right, but
We did have the Aurora. Whoa!
We had it. Oh my gosh, folks, that was a clincher of a minute of that game. That was insane. We did get to the 8. We got the 20. Aurora for the win. You'll love to see a game in a minute.
Yeah. So Gabe, like in positions like that where like your opponent has 1 off 20 and you have 1 off 20 because one of your characters has reckless, would you prefer that your opponent has the shift, or would you prefer that they didn't have the shift?
I'd prefer they had the shift because at least I would feel that, and this is totally a vibes thing. Like I'm sure if I'm thinking strategically, I should want more of a chance of winning, but at least I'd feel better about it. I'd be like, you know what, you had it the whole time, so it's fine.
You know, I fully agree. If I don't have those goats, I mean, I guess it is red purple, so you could have dash par there, but man. I would prefer knowing that my opponent had it and it didn't matter, and then it coming down to, man, I drew a reckless character, and I just didn't have the lore. That it would be. It's all in situations like that. It's all about the vibes going into the next game. Always go next, but if I can go next with a little bit more on a high than a low, then I'm feeling a little bit better for that next round.
Yeah, I think there's a good lesson there too, especially for anybody who's watching who may be newer and trying to get better at the game. There's something to be said about making decisions on your deck or in your play patterns based on results. You don't want to always do that because it is possible for you to take an action that is the statistically incorrect action and still be lucky and win. And some people tend to tie the result of winning to that action, so that could be the worst thing ever. But I'm telling you right now, if that happened to me, I'd be ripping up those liquidators and I'd be taking them out of the deck because I'd be so mad. That's how I would feel.
I would definitely be putting down that deck for a day or so, and rethinking why I'm playing liquidators in the first place, and then I'd play against green yellow aggro 4 times in a row. I'd be like, this is why.
Yeah, so for those of you who've ever played a tabletop game like Dungeons and Dragons, I used to keep my dice in a jail. So I would have a dice jail. If my dice were rolling low, well, that deck would for sure tonight. That deck is going into a deck box jail. That's where it's going.
Yeah, we should make that more of a thing. Like streamers should have like a corner of the room where they're like, if a deck's playing bad, just pack it up, put it in a corner, close the cage, forget about it for a few hours.
We got to get a bird cage, like a Lorcana themed bird cage somewhere.
Yeah,
that's scary.
What can we? How can we make that a little bit more Lorcana themed? It's like,
it could be Diablo. Like I feel like that'd be very fitting. Like it could be Diablo, like a Diablo cage.
Diablo in a cage, just like have an enchanted Diablo hung from the top of the cage. Like this is jail. It's the community jail. It's your deck jail, stuff like that. But yeah, nice night of games. ICL on a Tuesday. You know what tomorrow means?
Oh baby, it's ICL on a Wednesday.
ICL on a Wednesday. Love it. Gotta love it. Can't wait for some more ICL tomorrow. I love this system. I love this community. Absolutely fantastic. I love Lorcana. Gabe, who are you thankful for today?
First of all, I'm thankful for you hanging out with me. Thank you, Franz. I always love chatting with you. It's always a pleasure. Like the insight that you bring to this game and the way you think about this game, I think is really awesome. I think it's a place. The way you think about this game can teach other people how to be better at it. So I want to say thank you for being here and sharing your insights. Without you, it's just like, there's like a system here, like the casting thing. There's like a storytelling element. There's the analytical element. And I feel that you did a fantastic job bringing that. So thank you, buddy. I just want to say thank you to all our friends that help us run this, including the judges that kind of are a bit unseen. Thank you again to Luke. Thank you to our teams. Without the teams, there is no ICL. And the last thing I'll leave you with before is if you want to follow me more, my primary place that I hang out here is the ICL, but you can also follow me on X at @ill_Gabe. You can find me there. Where can we find you, Franz? Where can we find you, buddy?
I'm typically throwing up my crazy opinions about anything and everything Lorcana and life on Traverse Tavern over on Twitter. And I am often found in the lounge, just playing around, having a good time during the day, and in the voice chats at night, just playing some games, talking to some friends, stuff like that. Shout out to the lounge as always. Fantastic community. Has 2 teams in the ICL. I can't wait to see them tomorrow. Shout out to all my new, my first time players, both on Lazyboys and in ICL. It takes a lot of courage to jump into a new community that's this large, streaming to this many people twice a week, and just putting yourselves on camera to be judged by the public. That's always a very tough one, judged by public and judged by us when we're commentating. So great thanks to all them. Thanks to the judges. Thanks for the unseen workers of the ICL, Luke Wonderland and Rod Impact, and obviously shout out to my wife that doesn't, so she doesn't kill it.
All right, raid. We're raiding. Join us for this raid.
Woo. Yeah,